Vinicius just on the outside of him, left-hand side, gets into the area, right-footed shot, what a goal! Oh, what a hit from Vinicius Junior, out of nothing.
But how dynamic is he, Vinicius Junior? You think not a lot's happening, and then all of a sudden, just this turbo energy that he seems to have and close control.
That's a good perceptive ball for us, a brilliant ball, and it's taken. Vinicius on the counter-attack gives Real Madrid the lead.
I think we've been very lucky having him on our side. He is playing very well. Every performance is better than the previous one.
And his acceleration over 2 or 3 yards was as quick as anything I've seen. It was like watching an Olympic sprinter.
Yeah, he's not bad, is he? Real Madrid's Benfica. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Vinicius Junior, Scott Minto's on commentary duty. Let's talk about him. 8 years at Real Madrid, 20 times he's encountered racism. I don't care if he celebrates. I don't care if he winds up opponents. You know, people have asked the question, do you like Vinicius Junior? Who cares when we're talking about somebody who, for all the world, it looks to me like he's been the victim of racist abuse. So I don't care if he winds anybody up. We should be supporting this guy and the cause as well. And do you think he'll be able to focus on the football tonight? He's in his own home at Real Madrid. Will he be able to focus on the football tonight?
I think he will, Aid, because of what I saw in the first leg. You know, he rightly so, was absolutely livid with what happened. And he was, I'm picturing him now sitting on the bench at the Stadio de Luz, and I wasn't sure that he would come back on, and he did. And, you know, obviously the fans around there, they didn't quite appreciate what had been said and what happened, and they were at him. And the way he didn't react, the way he was disciplined, I thought was absolutely, well, beyond classy. So I just think, and Alvaro Arbeloa spoke really well yesterday in the pre-match presser as well about he's focused on doing what's right for Real Madrid and trying to get them through. And I think if Arbeloa thought that there were sort of afterthoughts from Vinny Junior that he wouldn't be able to handle it, then he just wouldn't start him. So I just think the answer is yes, purely because what I saw immediately after the incident last week, I thought he handled himself with absolute class.
He scored at the weekend, Vinicius Junior. Real Madrid lost, though, and they lost top spot as well in La Liga. And again, you're kind of thinking in your mind, how does that affect a team? Or maybe the focus was on this second leg, because if you don't get through this playoff, that's it, you are out. So it's a huge night for Real Madrid.
Yeah, let me tell you, Aid, it doesn't affect the players. It really doesn't, especially the likes of Real Madrid. You know, they think they own this trophy, don't they? And they lend it to teams every other year. No, they'll be concentrated, they'll bounce back at this. I think they did take their eye off the ball, really. Osasuna, Pamplona's not an easy place to go, and I think, you know, really the penalty, I didn't think it was a penalty, and then there was a mistake with the last minute goal. I think they'll be absolutely really focused on this, and as I say, I was really impressed with the team performance last week, and if they play anything like that, where really they should have won by 4 or 5, then they will go through. But like I always say, when it's only 1-0, the other team is still very much in the game.
So the other team being Benfica, how much can they draw on that 4-2 win at the end of the league stage, which I'm not actually sure they can, because it was such an extraordinary set of circumstances, and the drama at the end and the need to get another goal and the keeper going up. I mean, none of that's going to be replicated tonight, surely.
No, that's an amazing comeback, and the fact that they scored that sort of last-minute goal and they were in there as well, and I mean, it might need Trubin, the goalkeeper, to go up in the last few minutes and score again tonight, although we don't think that's probably going to happen. I just think, as we spoke, or we sort of just touched on it earlier, the fact that Helson's not around and Raul Asensio is in. Look, he's a fighter. He's not the worst defender in the world by any stretch of the imagination. He has played through a hairline fracture, so he loves the club. He's not particularly tall. He is quick, but when you're struggling with those type of injuries, you can make bad decisions and you lose half a yard. So I just wonder whether Pavlidis, who I thought was so well looked after in the first leg, will maybe try and play on him.
Well, we shall see. Teams are on their way out. Champions League music is playing as well. I can tell you in the National League, Gateshead 1, Morecambe 0, Keaton Ward with the goal. It will be the greatest of great escapes if Gateshead get out of that. They lost every game between October and January. 3 wins in a row now, and they're giving themselves a chance. In the Championship, no goals as yet here at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, Coventry 0, but a booking apiece. Tanganga and Mason Clark had a fight in the first few minutes in the box. Yellow card apiece. This is live on Talksport 2. Live on Talksport. It is Champions League action. Jose can't steal the show from the sidelines tonight. Prestiani's not on the pitch this time. Real Madrid protecting a 1-goal lead against a side that have already put 4 past them this season. Real Madrid against Benfica, live on Talksport with former Benfica fullback Scott Minto, alongside your commentator Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you for a match that has become one of the most talked about Champions League ties for years, and none of the chat has been good. Only Gianluca Prestiani and Vinicius truly know what was said last week, and their reports are conflicting, but it seems to have been handled appallingly by Benfica, making this a game like few others. But some stage tonight, hopefully, a football match will break out. It's quite a minimal tifo that has been dropped by the Real Madrid supporters tonight at one end of the ground. It simply says in big black letters on a white background, "No al racismo." The first encounter between the two 4 weeks ago tonight was sensational. Real Madrid needed a win to finish in the top 8 and avoid the playoffs. Benfica had to win to stay in the competition. Deep in stoppage time with other results against them, they knew the victory had to be by 2 clear goals. Well, most of them did. As keeper Anatoly Trubin was wasting time protecting the lead until the message got to him. Then he strode forward to score the decisive goal in the 8th added minute to send them through. It's one of those wonderful, life-affirming footballing moments that was instantly talked about across the world. But it is one that has been subsequently overshadowed by the utter embarrassment of last Tuesday. The teams tonight: Courtois in goal for Real, Alexander-Arnold, Raul Asensio, who's back for the injured Housen, Rudiger and Carreras, Arda Güler and Chouameni, Camavinga playing narrow on the left and Valverde similarly on the right, Gonzalo back in for the injured Kylian Mbappe alongside Vinicius up front, Trubin in goal for Benfica, Dedic, Araujo, Otamendi and Dahl, Barreiro and Rios, Ashnez and Shelberup and Rafa Silva. Partners have leaders. The Real Madrid bench: Carvajal, Alaba, Fran Garcia, Brahim Diaz, Mendy, Sestero, Mastantuono, Manuel Angel, Palacios, Thiago Pitach, and the keepers Fran Gonzalez and Lunin. And for Benfica, it's Antonio Silva, Barrenechea on loan from Villa, Bar, Ivanovic, Sudakov, Lukebakio once of Watford, Lopez Cabral and Anicio Cabral, Manu Silva and Jose Neto, with keepers Diogo Ferreira and the fit again, Samuel Suarez. We'll keep you up to date with everything going on elsewhere. Still goalless everywhere in the Championship. And as Adrian told you, Gateshead leading Morecambe 1-0 in the National League. Hartlepool have taken the lead at home to Carlisle, who are third and will be back within 9 points of leaders York with a win tonight, but they're already trailing on North Teesside. Benfica in all red and Real Madrid with a 1-0 lead to protect in all white. They have been in the last 16 every season since 1997. A draw this evening will be enough for that run to continue. Benfica hoping to turn them over in what would be a very impressive turnaround. They have beaten them once by a couple of goals over the last month or so. They need to replicate that tonight. So for the third time in a month, it is Real Madrid against Benfica. The first meeting brought sensation, the second accusation, and tonight's will bring elimination. A draw enough for the Spaniards to progress to a date with either Sporting Lisbon or Manchester City. And we're underway. Real Madrid in all white, kicking from right to left in the first 45 minutes. A goal to the good on aggregate. No away goals, remember, in these Champions League ties. We'll go to extra time if Benfica are a goal up at full time tonight. And is Benfica able to bring the ball forward from the kickoff? Worked out wide to Dedic. And Zlatko Dedic, the Croatian, taking on his man. And 41 a corner. Carreras is defending good enough. A little double ricochet, make sure it's a goal kick. Inside the opening 30 seconds here on Talksport. Real Madrid against Benfica still 0-0. Alongside me, Scott Minto.
Yeah, good evening, Jim. I mean, I thought Benfica in the first 15 minutes last week were started off really well. But of course they would. They're at the Stadio de Luz. Only 30 seconds gone so far. It's been a positive start from them as well, trying to get down the right-hand side. I can tell you as a left-back that the Carrera's making that tackle and they're going out for a goal kick as well. And it's a nice little early touch for him. We'll have to wait and see just how long it will take for Real Madrid to start taking control of this game. They have the better players. They were better last week, but the score is only 1-0. So that first goal, absolutely crucial.
And it's Benfica that have the ball in the heart of the midfield. Flicked out to the left-hand touchline for Dahl, who's got the centre-halves Otamendi and Araujo behind him, and the goalkeeper Trubin, who scored that dramatic goal, one of the most dramatic in the group or league stage of Champions League history, which made it 4-2 to Benfica and saw them climb above Marseille into 24th in the group stage. Even the timing was superb, because every other game that night had finished by the time he scored it, so everyone got to see it. They're on the front foot here. It's a little reverse ball into Pavlidis. Rios up there as well, and cleared by the Real Madrid back line. Another ball that's poked forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Won back well by Arda Güler, whose role decidedly fluid in this Real Madrid system. Now Real able to bring it forward. A couple of step-overs from Vinicius, but he's just lost out. It's good defending by Dedic. And Dedic will be able to poke it away down the right-hand touchline for Benfica. 2.5 gone, 0-0.
Yeah, that will give Dedic a bit of confidence as well, because it was a 1-on-1. And he just stayed on his feet really well. He overplayed it, Vinny Jr., and then the right-back was able to just win the ball and pass it to a teammate. It's a tough game for him last week. For not just Vinny Jr., but when they were going down the left-hand side, sometimes he was overloaded, Dedic. So that's a decent start for him.
And he has it again. Just waiting for Camavinga to come across. Camavinga playing quite narrow on the left-hand side of midfield. It is 4-4-2 for Real Madrid, although Güler, as I mentioned, gets a free roll. So sometimes he'll drift out to the right-hand side from the berth of on the right of the two central midfielders, but then they can tuck him with Valverde, who will play in, and then he will drift out and make a 4-3-3. And dealing with that movement, it can be very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of will be a 4-4-2 mainly.
So Benfica bring it forward again, out of the left-hand side of the penalty area. Two waiting for the delivery, which is deflected. Would have gone out of play for a corner. They decided to play on, and the ball whipped in towards the near post, hits the side netting, and Pavlidis is making the point that perhaps they should have let it go out of play for a corner and try and set things up rather than drill one in from the left-hand side from the dead ball line. Maybe a sense that an early ball would have found Pavlidis or Rafa Silva offside, but they do end up getting a corner out of it in the end.
They were offside. If there's a goal from this corner, then Real Madrid could, rightly so, say corner shouldn't have been allowed in the first place.
4 minutes in, first corner of the night, flicked on and comfortably claimed by Courtois. It was a good near post header, didn't quite get the angle right. Courtois could just take a step up from the line and deal with the flick from Otamendi. It's still 0-0.
Yeah, just on that 4-4-2, but I know Camavinga, he's not a natural wide player, neither really is Valverde, but he's so versatile and just such an important member, hence being the captain, that he can do a job. They've been told that with Trent and Carreras as well, perhaps not the best of defenders, and needs to just help look after them when they go into this sort of inverted midfield. So very intelligent players out wide that need to look after their fullbacks, and they normally do.
And if anybody knows the strengths and weaknesses of Carreras, you would imagine that it will be Benfica. He played nearly 70 games for them. It's actually not that long ago that he had a season on loan at Preston North End. Benfica coming forward again, but right for his shot with the outside of the boot is caught by the diving Courtois. It's been a really bright start for the Portuguese team on the front foot through the opening 5 minutes. It's they that have had the sights of goal. Plenty of possession. Real Madrid yet to get going.
Incredible. 74% possession. They've had 4 shots, 2 on target. Real Madrid haven't had a shot on or off target yet.
And they can come forward again with the ball slipped in just behind Pavlidis. And Carreras mops it up for Real and get it back for Thibaut Courtois. Hangs his head as he sends a high ball spiralling down to the left-hand touchline. Vinicius chased after it willingly. He was never likely to get there. Camavinga stabs it back through the midfield. Then helped on by Chouameni. An opportunity for Arda Güler to bring it forward. He gets it down to the left of Vinny. He'll run towards the edge of the penalty area. Vinicius going for the return ball. Sliding challenge was a really good one. Otamendi playing it into him, and it's gone out of play for a goal kick. Vinicius is on his knees inside the penalty area, arms outstretched, looking at referee Slavko Vincic, but just appeared to be a really well-timed challenge.
Yeah, I don't think he's looking for the foul, the penalty. He's looking for a deflection and a possible corner as well, but that's where Vinny Jr. is so dangerous. You know, as a fullback, you want to try and show him down the outside, but you know he can beat you for pace. Don't really allow him inside. The moment he does, he can play a little 1-2, or of course what he did last week, where actually it was 3v5, and somehow when he received the ball, he was able to manipulate the ball and put it in the top corner, which was the only goal of last week.
Barrero getting the ball through the midfield. Rios in an advanced position now. Pavlidis, first time ball from him into the edge of the D. But again, Real can deal with the threat. It was Rudiger that time. The National League Morecambe have equalised at Gateshead with Chris Popov, the man on target. Picked up their first win in 10 at the weekend. It's the big game at the bottom, second bottom hosting third bottom, and it's 1-1 at the International Stadium. This one 0-0, 1-0 to Real Madrid on aggregate. And the ball will be cleared down the Real Madrid left-hand side again by Rudiger, and then volleyed back by Dedic. It had actually just drifted over the line and out of play. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football, and still 0-0. Winners of this play, Manchester City or Sporting. Atalanta already through. They will take on either Arsenal or Bayern Munich. The draw is going to be made early Friday afternoon, and you'll hear it. First news of it on Talksport. Juventus against Galatasaray, PSG against Monaco, still goalless in the early stages of those matches as well. Galatasaray and PSG in the box seat in their respective ties. Quite a few think that Galatasaray's 5-2 lead is not as safe as it looks. And the winners of that will take on Liverpool or Spurs. So Galatasaray, as long as they don't lose by 3 tonight to Juventus, will make it through. Tony Rudiger, former winner of this competition, with both Chelsea and Real Madrid pulling it back for Courtois, who himself has played in 3 Champions League finals, a couple of them for Real and one against them back in his Atletico Madrid days. And now Real will clear the ball towards halfway. It's just poked down on the right-hand side of midfield, but again they can't get it to stick. Haven't really been able to string the passes together in the early stages. Might they be able to now, though? Chouameni with a little layoff. Rudiger looking briskly for Vinicius, picking it up on the left-hand touchline. He's on halfway, looks back. He didn't really have anything on in an advanced position down the left-hand side, so it's back for Rudiger again.
Do you know what? It's been a really good start from Benfica, and I feel harsh saying this, but it's almost, well, you've had a couple of attempts at goal already. You only need to play the perfect game to come away from the Bernabeu to be winning, either taking it into extra time or winning it outright. So when you do get those chances, you almost have to score in every single time, because you won't get too many. And Real Madrid, I mean, I've covered them for 4 years, and they were playing at home. It was almost like we don't need to start too hard, because we know we're that good, we can come back. And even if they conceded the first goal, they never panicked. And that's why I just feel that if Benfica, and they came on strong last week after 15 minutes, they're trying to just keep the ball now and take the sting out of Benfica's good start. Benfica really needs, if they do get another chance, make sure they do get that goal.
A Camavinga foul, free kick to Real Madrid, and a goal at Millwall. Ian Abrahams.
Millwall 1, Birmingham 0. What a stunner from Femi Aziz, right hand side of the area, right into the top corner. No chance for James Beadle. Millwall on top here. Millwall 1, Birmingham 0.
8th of the season for Aziz, and they're up to 3rd if they win tonight. Millwall. I've just seen a replay of the Otamendi challenge inside the penalty area on Vinicius. I thought that he'd actually cleared the ball into Vinicius. He didn't play the ball at all, and you can understand why Vinicius was asking for a penalty. I think that he made sure there was contact with the Real Madrid player, but you've certainly seen those given.
Yeah, I think so early in the game. It seemed to me as if Vinny Jr. was saying it was a corner rather than the foul. So yeah, look at that again. It could easily have been, but not a clear and obvious error.
A National League game between Gateshead and Morecambe. Now 2-1 to Morecambe. They've come from behind that match in the North East tonight. 11 gone in this one. Real Madrid against Benfica is still 0-0, and Courtois has been much the busier of the two goalkeepers in the early stages. Our coverage of the game in the Champions League, live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Now we'll catch up with the events in the early stages of the other couple of Champions League games in a moment. There's another long ball over the top. Rudiger heads it away, but only to the edge of the penalty area for Pavlidis. His 100th game for Benfica tonight, chipping it back in, but over Rios and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, just moments like that, isn't it, when you get in the box. First of all, really good long ball, 50-yard ball from Thomas. And Antonio Rudiger just got his head on it. The moment Pavlidis then gets the ball in the box, either get to one side and have a shot, or just overhit that cross. Again, it's got to be more perfect than that.
He's having an excellent season, Pavlidis. 28 goals in 42 games, including one in the Champions League against Real Madrid. This competition, though, he has struggled, bearing in mind how prolific he's been in the league. I suppose that's perhaps understandable, but he's only got a couple in his 9 Champions League ties so far this season, and only 1 in open play. But he's already had a couple of little sights of goal in the opening 12 minutes tonight. And the early signs are that this isn't going to be the formality that many might have anticipated. Of course, that could all change if Real Madrid were to score first. Benfica have a free kick. It's been won by Barreiro. Leandro Barreiro, the Luxembourg international, who got a couple of goals in the World Club Cup back in the summer and scored too many. Ball goes out to Dahl, the left back for Benfica. First chance for him to be able to bring it forward and try and run a Trent Alexander-Arnold, but the Englishman backs off, doesn't have to make a challenge. Benfica working it back inside their own half. Ashland's clipping it down towards Dedic, who will control it. Killed it stone dead on the instep of his right foot. Gets it away from Carreras. Turn around the corner. Pavlidis is in behind Camavinga. Squares it, and it's almost an own goal. Courtois makes the save, and is then bundled in. And Benfica have the lead at the Bernabeu. Thoroughly deserved advantage in the early stages as well. Great ball in from the right-hand side. Arbeloa's men just haven't got going. Pavlidis whipped it in. And the young centre-half, Asensio, forced to play it. He's stretched. Trying to get the ball in towards the far post and away from danger. Courtois made a tremendous save, but flicking it with his left foot just came back down outside the penalty area, outside the 6-yard box, should I say. And Rafa Silva had time after a poor first touch to take a second and lift it over the goalkeeper. And we're dead level again on aggregate. Benfica, who beat Real Madrid by a couple of goals a month ago, already a goal up tonight.
Well, I said Benfica have started so well, and they almost need the perfect game if they are to get through to the next round. What a start it has been. They have pretty much dominated the first 15 minutes, like last week, but unlike last week, they have got that goal. Really poor defending from Madrid. Carreras has gone in, Camavinga's not dropped in, no one's talked about Pavlidis just going into that channel. Good one-touch play. It's a fantastic save from Courtois, making sure it wasn't an Asensio own goal. But Rafa Silva, I actually thought he dealt with it really well. It came at him quickly, that first touch. And in the second one, he got there just in front of Courtois. God, Jim, we have a game on our hands.
Well, he rejoined the club from Besiktas back in January. He scored his first goal of his second spell at the weekend. That one is 96 for Benfica, has given them the lead. They've had 5 attempts to 1 through the opening 15 minutes, where they've dominated possession. They've been much the better team. They lead on the night, and it's dead level on aggregate. Let's find out what's been going on in the early stages of the other 2 Champions League ties. In fact, we'll be there in a moment. First of all, we'll go back to the den for Ian Abrahams.
It's 2-0 to Millwall. Millwall 2, Birmingham 0. I think Tristan Kramer is the man who's got the goal. It was a free kick from Femi Aziz. He wasn't in the same postcode as the goal, and it came back off the post, and there was Kramer to tuck the ball into the back of the net. Millwall 2, Birmingham 0.
One at Norwich at the weekend. They're losing tonight. And talking of Norwich, there is a goal at Carrow Road. Mike Sewell.
Matt Grimes, and now Coventry have their turning coming forward.
She's squaring into the 6-yard box for Ali Ahmed, whose shot was brilliantly saved. Chris Scoren headed onto the crossbar, and from the rebound, the substitute scored. Matthias Chris Scoren has made it Norwich 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
And Real Madrid are back in it. It's 1-1. Schwameni sweeping in from the edge of the penalty area. Their first meaningful attack as it came down the right-hand side. It was pulled back to him on the edge of the box, and he walked onto it, hit it right-footed, a low, crisp drive into the bottom right-hand corner. Real Madrid 1, Benfica 1.
Well, it's the perfect response from Real Madrid. As you say, their first shot on target. The ball was given away, first of all. And everyone from Benfica, they're just dropping off and dropping off. And in the end, as Valverde gets the ball and he cuts the ball back, and there's no one getting close to Tchouaméni, not enough to close the shot down. And then it's about just keeping your composure on the edge of the box, first time, and he just curls it. Looks like initially it's going outside the post, but because he's put that curl on, it's going right in the corner, giving Trubin no chance whatsoever. It's not been a good start from Real Madrid, but this is what they can do even when they're not playing well.
It's his first goal of the season. Some timing, and the lead for Benfica lasted barely 2 minutes. 1-1. Not dissimilar goal to that he scored against England in the World Cup quarter-finals out in Qatar for France back in December 2022. 1-1 the score, 2-1 to Real Madrid on aggregate. It was never likely to end 0-0 this. And it's not going to end 1-1, I don't think. Here's Gonzalo bringing it forward down the right-hand side.
It's not going to end 1-1 this half.
No, you wouldn't imagine so.
What an open game it's been already. Benfica will be kicking themselves so much, just to, thinking too much defensively and just dropping off, and no one's getting tight on the ball. Real Madrid able to work the way to the byline and cut the ball back, and really no one was around them within 2 yards.
Carreras getting away from the challenge of Richard Rios in the midfield. Coming into a central area, laying it back for the Real goal scorer, Aurélien Tchouaméni. Now on the right-hand side of the Real Madrid box, the ball is pulled back in, but it's not a great delivery. And then a free kick is given away down by the corner flag, which Benfica will take. They'll be very grateful to hear the whistle. It's Valverde, I think, that made the challenge, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is quickly in the ear of the assistant referee over on the far touch. That was a great ball back from Valverde, and wonderfully struck from Schwameni, and it was a passing move completely out of character with what we've seen from Arbeloa's men so far tonight. But 1-1 the score, 2-1 to Benfica on aggregate. Let's find out what's been going on in the early stages of the other 8 o'clock Champions League ties. Here's Kev Hatchard.
Should be in front. Mamadou Koulibaly blazed over from 8 yards out, so PSG still 3-2 up on aggregate, and it's Juventus 0, Galatasaray 0, but they've had 2 good headed chances. Juve, Gatti and Koopmeiners both heading over the top. 0-0, Galatasaray 5-2 up on aggregate.
A reminder, Atalanta beat Borussia Dortmund 4-1 earlier, courtesy of a 98th minute penalty from Samasic. 4-1 on the night, 4-3 on aggregate, so Atalanta are through. Here's Thibaut Courtois taking a touch, gets it onto his left foot on the edge of the 6-yard box, and hit a very low, flat delivery, only about 7-8 feet off the ground, and pinged it 60 yards upfield. Camavinga's got it now, the ball chipped over the top. Vinicius will chase it, good defending from in front of him by Dedic, and he knocks it out of play. Vinicius plays the crowd, raises his hands above his head, asking for a little bit of extra volume from those in white all around the stadium. Throw taken by Carreras, straight into the feet of Vinicius. Pulled back again towards Antonio Rudiger. Square from him through the centre circle of Raul Asensio. Back from Trent to Asensio again. Rudiger will take another touch. Now Vinicius has it once more. Vinicius, who's scored 5 goals in his last 4 games, including that winner in the first leg. Man has also got a winner in a Champions League final to his name, of course. Camavinga. Back for Vinicius. Dedic is taking a watching brief this time. Defended it with his eyes as the ball was played back towards Rudiger. Now it goes out towards Asensio. Alexander-Arnold. Good little dart back inside, and then a clip ball forward through the middle. Denic with a defensive header that left a bit to be desired, but it was well read by Trubin. There was enough loop on the header that he could get there in time and come out and catch it. It looked for a moment as though he was going to go straight through towards Gonzalo, but Benfica dealt with it. Then they punt it upfield very quickly as they look to get their noses back in front tonight. Left-hand side of the penalty area, thrown right through the 6-yard box. Nobody could get the decisive touch. Real really struggling defensively. Good little 1-2 inside the 6-yard box, and another ball is driven in. That one from Pereiro, and it's smuggled behind by Rudiger for a corner.
Do you know what? This game is so open. Real Madrid, they're not picking up their players at all. It's a simple ball over the top, and Shelderepu didn't get sort of many one-on-one situations with Trent last week. Well, he got one there and went past him. And then Barrera just plays an easy 1-2, and he's got to just whip it across first time. Takes the touch, allows the Madrid players to come across, but Benfica on the front foot.
Ashness taking the corner with pace, bounces on the edge of the 6-yard box. But nobody can get a touch, and it scuttles through to the left-hand touchline, and then be worked back in a much more aerial cross that was mishit. And Courtois with the 6-yard box to himself is able to catch it, and then come out and throw-in style forward towards halfway. Got good distance on that throw, and very quickly Real are back on the front foot. First half of the first half has raced by with the quick exchange of goals here on Talksport. Rafa Silva for Benfica, Tchouaméni a couple of minutes later equalising for Real Madrid, and it's 1-1, 2-1 to Real on aggregate. They have the ball again in the heart of midfield in Benfica territory, but every man in red is back goal side of Camavinga as he just works it down to the left-hand side for Vinicius. Now he's going to run at Dedic again. Little ball into the feet of Gonzalo on the edge of the penalty area. Tchouaméni playing it out to the right-hand side. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a low, flat delivery, but it was a real fizzer through the penalty area that was volleyed away towards halfway. Another goal in the Championship. Back at Carrow Road, Mike Sewell.
Norwich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. A brilliant piece of individual skill from Paris Magoma, who turned 25 yards out, ran to the edge of the area and drove in a low left-footed shot. Norwich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Camavinga's just pinged one in from distance. Good curl on his left-footed effort, but Trubin could catch it comfortably.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of things. Just want to mention Federico Valverde. That's 2 assists in the last 2 games, and against Osasuna it was a left foot assist. Tonight it was a right foot assist, both from the opposite touchline as well. It just shows the versatility of the Real Madrid captain. And you know, you were right, you called it with the system that Benfica have, the 4-2-2-2, but actually their fullbacks are not getting any help at all. Dedic is having a one-on-one all the time against Vinny Jr., which, to be fair, he's dealing with it quite well, but on the right-hand side, not getting any help.
And now Vinicius is running towards the edge of the penalty area, and he can get a shot in from the thick end of 30 yards. And he just went straight along the turf in the centre of the goal, and it was a comfortable save for Trubin. That time he got himself isolated against Thomas Araujo, the Portuguese centre-half, who's playing his 100th Benfica game tonight. And finishes with minimal backlift, went early, but it was comfortably saved. In terms of the attempts, it's a more even contest now than it was earlier. 5 attempts to 1 in Benfica's favour. At one stage when they had a 1-0 lead, but I think Real have probably had the last 3 attempts, albeit that Benfica have played a couple of really dangerous balls through the 6-yard box that no one can get on the end of to have a striker goal.
Yeah, but I think the game that we're watching at the moment, we've had 9 attempts between the 2 sides. We've not even had 25 minutes. You know, it goes to show you how open it is, and at times it's almost like, it seems ridiculous saying, like an under-10s game, just you know, like a tennis match, and there's no midfield at all. I mean, it's great to watch, but just something you don't necessarily expect. I think Benfica would be more than happy with that. Real Madrid aren't controlling the game in the way that they did last week after those initial first 15 minutes. So Benfica will definitely feel there's another goal for them there. The question is, can they make sure they don't concede anymore?
You're listening to Real Madrid against Benfica in the Champions League. It's live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. After Bramall Lane in a moment, where it's still 0-0. Throw to be taken on the Real Madrid right. They've now had the majority of possession. It was 70-odd% to Benfica through the opening 7-8 minutes, but it's a Real that have had much more of it in the 15 minutes since. Carreras, the former Benfica man, goes back for Rudiger. Rudiger to his right-hand side for Arda Güler, and the Turkish international just opens up the passing lane to flick it down towards Vinicius. Vinicius just for a moment playing an inside left rather than coming out into a more advanced position, and that's seeing Carreras come forward. Camavinga, though, goes all the way back for his goalkeeper. Courtois has got a good range of passing, just trying to draw the press here, with three Benfica players almost biting. He's played it through the midfield for the goal scorer Chouameni, and back it goes again. And now worked out to the edge of the penalty area and clipped forward for Camavinga. Camavinga almost lost it. Aursnes dangles out a foot, very nearly was able to steer it away, but it comes down to Carreras. Carreras in his yellow boots in front of the Benfica technical area with a nice piece of skill. Back for Chouameni, and out to Raul Asensio.
And now we're seeing it being more of a 4-4-2 without the ball, Benfica. Richard Rios has come onto the right-hand side because he realises he's got to help his right-back Dedic and not have a 2-on-1 situation. You don't even want a 1-on-1 situation when you're up against Vinny Jr., let alone a 2-on-1. So you need a little bit more help defensively.
Well, he's been pretty assured, though, Amar Dedic, the Bosnian international, who they signed from Salzburg. He certainly got his hands full, and goes without saying. 1-1 the score, 2-1 on aggregate to Real Madrid. This is the 15th out of the last 16 Champions League ties played on this ground in which both teams have scored, and they did so in the opening 16 minutes. All cleared by Dahl, the Benfica left back. Good movement down the left-hand side. Sheldrup made the run that wasn't anticipated by Pavlidis as he played it forward. He played it behind him and at an angle and straight out of play for a Real Madrid throw. So we'll go to Bramall Lane. Sheffield United taking on Championship leaders Coventry in front of Talksport's Alan Biggs.
Well, it's still Sheffield United 0, Coventry 0, but it's a game of high pace and high quality. Chances and attempts at both ends. Chances notably Bamford for Sheffield United, uncharacteristically not finding the target on this occasion, and equally so Haji Wright after he muscled through for Coventry. Sheffield United 0, Coventry 0.
In the National League, Morecambe, who trailed early on at Gateshead, now 3-1 up there, and Yeovil leads Sutton by a goal to nil. That's 20th against 19th. Everybody in the bottom 7 in the National League playing tonight, and at the moment Yeovil and Morecambe the only ones that are winning. Real Madrid 1, Benfica 1. And that Sheffield United Coventry game, incidentally, live, you're right now, over on Talksport 2. So if you've got the Talksport app, you've just got to go down to the live games tab at the bottom of the screen, and that will enable you to easily switch between games and get all the news from both of those matches as they happen. Sheffield United against Coventry on Talksport 2. Here on Talksport, Real Madrid 1, Benfica 1 in the company of Scott Minto.
Yeah, game's just calmed down a little bit in the last 5 minutes. There's always the option down the wings. Camavinga is not always going with Dedic. And if Carreras has not stayed in his position as well, then there's definitely space for Benfica down the right and the left-hand side as well to exploit.
And Benfica have a corner. Dedic coming forward again down the right-hand side to win that, with the ball inside the penalty area that was just deflected away. Sheldrup's going to come out to take this one. Man scored twice against Real Madrid on match day 8 in the league stage. Pavlidis trying to get free of his man at the near post. That created a bit of space for Rios in behind, but it's headed away by Chouameni. Goes out to the Benfica left. Dahl can't keep it in, and Real Madrid survive that. They have a throw. Half an hour in, and it's, as you were at the start of the night, really 1-1, so still Real Madrid 1 up on aggregate.
Interesting, isn't it, with set pieces, which of course we know are so important. They've always been so important, but this year more than ever in the Premier League. Was an outswinger there, and no Benfica player was in the 6-yard box to try and put Thibaut Courtois under pressure. We don't really see that down the other end as well. It's almost like the European teams, they don't realise how dangerous it can be with the in-swinger, and if you make sure the goalkeeper, you pin him in, then it just causes absolute havoc in the defence. It's just a way that Benfica might score as well as in open play.
Yeah, where's James Tarkowski when you need it? Here's Vinicius. Blasting through the midfield. Rios gets it away from him. Chouameni picked up the loose ball. Intelligent pass out of the right-hand side for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Arda Güler, left-footed aerial pass down towards Carreras, headed away, but He anticipated that, dropped off, picked it up with a minimum of fuss. Chouameni then for Rudiger. Grealish again towards the edge of the penalty area. Valverde, real Swiss Army knife of a player, Federico Valverde. Been a wonderful servant to Real Madrid, with more than 350 games for the club behind him now. 14 to go to half-time, 1-1 the score. Vinicius taking on Dedic and beating him. He's got round the back, he's inside the penalty area. Dedic quickly back goal side, did well to recover. Hasn't got the ball back, but stopped Vinicius getting it in dangerously when he can clip it down. It's headed on by Valverde and put in by Arda Güler for 2-1. And that might be that. Real Madrid 2 goals up on aggregate now. Trubin down hurt inside the 6-yard box. Benfica are claiming that he was fouled. But great desire there from Arda Güler, just picking up the loose ball on the edge of the 6-yard box and able to side-foot it in past the stricken keeper. It's Real Madrid 2, Benfica 1.
Yeah, we talked about Vinny Jr. down the left-hand side. I mean, I thought Dedic actually did quite well initially, but still, Vinny Jr. was able to get the ball in towards the far post. Valverde gets the header down. As it floats to the far post, he gets the header down, and it's good defending from Otamendi in the end. I'm thinking Trubin's got to dive on the ball quicker. He believes he got 2 hands on the ball. He didn't. And Arda Güler just gets there. And I think you're right, Jim. That could be a really crucial goal. Benfica have played well in this first half, but to be 2-1 down when really, arguably, you've been the better side, certainly in the first 15, 20 minutes, it's absolutely heartbreaking. There's something about Real Madrid in this competition. They have to believe they can still get the next goal, and then you never know what can happen. And it looks like it's being checked.
Well, I think one of the things that will be checked for an offside potentially against Gonzalo, and the Valverde header came in, it would be really close whether he was just a fraction too far forward. Real then were claiming that they should have had a penalty for Otamendi's challenge on Gonzalo as he couldn't get a shot in. Benfica wanted a free kick of their own for a foul on the goalkeeper, but didn't look as though he had the ball in his hands. I think it is the offside that will see the goal disallowed. Yes, it is. It's chalked off. And it remains 1-1. Really close. Real Madrid thought that they had a 2-goal advantage for the first time in the tie. They think again. 1-1 on the night, with the goal disallowed for an offside against Gonzalo Garcia, and then a free kick goes Benfica's way, 10 yards inside their own half. Half-time whistles going in the Championship now. First to the Den, here's Ian Abrahams.
Millwall 2, Birmingham 0, 2 goals in 6 first half minutes. First Femi Aziz with a stunning strike, and then his free kick touched onto the post, tapped in by Kramer. Birmingham with work to do. Millwall 2, Birmingham 0.
And to Bramall Lane, whistle's gone there as well, Alan Biggs.
It's Sheffield United 0, Coventry 0. That will please the leaders more. They've been under the cosh for most of this first half, defended so superbly well, countless shots blocked, the Blades on top but haven't managed the goal. Sheffield United 0, Coventry 0.
The first yellow card of the night shown at the Bernabeu. It was a poor challenge that came in from Rios. And he's protesting his innocence, but just on the stretch with his left foot, which ended up getting planted after he got a little nick on the ball just on the instep of Chouameni, who's gone down. So a yellow card shown. Goal at the Bet365 stadium in the Championship. Stoke Oxford, Dave Rowe.
Stoke 1, Oxford 0. Lamine Cissé's first league goal for the club on the breakaway after a long Oxford throw was quickly cleared. Manhoof on halfway, playing in Cissé, who ran through and beat Cumming. Stoke have been on top, they've got the lead. Stoke 1, Oxford 0.
And the National League, Sutton have equalised at Yeovil with a goal from Hayden Muller in first half stoppage time. And it's 1-1 between Real Madrid and Benfica as well. To Norwich for half-time details in a moment, but stay with it for this Benfica attack as they try and bring the ball forward through the midfield. Another free kick has been given. It's Vinicius that's gone down holding the left-hand side of his face, just got caught off the ball, and a free kick to Real Madrid. So half-time details from Carrow Road coming from Mike Sewell.
Norwich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. 2 goals in 7 minutes just after the half-hour mark. The first from substitute Matthias Quiscoren at the second attempt, a header from close range, and then a brilliant piece of individual skill by Paris Magoma, turning 25 yards out and then running to the edge of the area and shooting low into the bottom corner. Norwich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Mike, thank you. So, Millwall, Norwich both leading their respective games in the Championship comfortably at half-time. Sheffield United against Coventry is goalless. Stoke leading Oxford 1-0. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. We've got about 7 minutes to go in the first half of that. 9 minutes to go in the first half of this one. 1-1 between Real Madrid and Benfica. Gateshead have pulled one back from the penalty spot just before half-time in that National League game. Gateshead 2, Morecambe 3, with Billy Chadwick halving the deficit. It's just coming up for half-time. There's been another Champions League goal. It's in Turin, Kevin Hatchard.
It is Juventus 1, Galatasaray 0. Their captain, Manuel Locatelli's just stroked home a penalty after Kefren Turan was hacked down by Lucas Torreira. So it's 1-0 to Juve, 5-3 down on aggregate.
So perhaps the comeback is on. Kev saying before the game that he fancied that Juventus would be able to have a good crack at it tonight, despite the fact that Juve have lost 3 in a row and Galatasaray won 5 of their last 6. They need to win by 3 goals in 90 minutes, and they're a goal up, almost on schedule. Dahl on the left-hand side of the penalty area for Benfica tricks his way past the first challenge. It breaks to the edge of the box. Good save from Courtois. Rios flashed one in towards the near post. Courtois got down very quickly and beat it away with his right hand.
That is an absolutely brilliant save, because Rios gets it on the edge of the box. In fact, it's inside the box, and it goes through 3 Real Madrid players. And he's got to dive to his right really quickly. Strong hands, great save.
Dedic coming forward, the Bosnian towards the edge of the penalty area, trying to open up the angle for a shot, and then stumbled at the most inopportune moments just as he got into the D, preparing to pull the trigger. Lost his footing and the chance had gone. I think he'd get it back, but they're back with Trubin on the edge of his own penalty area. 7 minutes to go to half-time.
I tell you what, Courtois knows how to play well in the Champions League, doesn't he? And he might have to have an absolute blinder again tonight. Been really impressed with Benfica. I thought they were outplayed last week after the first 15 minutes, but tonight they've been really good on the ball.
Yeah, they've been the better side, without a shadow of a doubt. They had that shaky 5-6 minute period after the equalising goal, and then the nervy moment when the ball went in for Real Madrid's 2-1 goal that was chalked off because of the offside for Gonzalo. But other than that, Benfica have largely been in control.
Yeah, and that was a big moment, that goal being disallowed, and it was so close as well, but it was rightly disallowed. But the way Benfica have played, they will have belief that they can get another goal. Think about you're playing Real Madrid. Sort of said to Adrian a little bit earlier, they believe the Champions League trophy is theirs, and they just lend it to clubs every so often. There's something about them that even if they don't play well, they find a way to get through. It might be one of those tonight, but Benfica, for me, have shown enough in this first half to say that they can get another really good opportunity and score. The question is, can they put the ball past Thibaut Courtois again?
Well, they've won the European Cup 15 times. They've just won another free kick here as Benfica looked to break. It's 3 against 3 for a moment, but Chouameni was pushed. Mendy's coming across and having a word with the referee and just explaining that his interpretation of that kind of challenge is different to that of Slavko Vincic. But it was a relatively hefty collision with Barrero, went in really strongly. Benfica have really got a case there. As we see again, that fine stop from Courtois, almost a sixth sense to go down to his right-hand side before Rios hit the shot. And he's got a long way to get down from the height that he is, but it was a fine piece of goalkeeping.
And it's gone through 2 sets of legs, not just 1 but 2. The fact that he dived down so quickly, as you say, so big but so agile as well. It's a brilliant save.
Chouameni trying to deal with Arsenez in the midfield. Gets it wide for Camavinga. Vinicius holding the width on the Real Madrid left-hand side. Clips it right-footed out to Valverde. Valverde coming onto it. Low ball in from him. He had time to measure the cross, but it was knocked away easily enough by Araujo. And Benfica just get it back out of harm's way. Back towards Rudiger. Down to Camavinga. On from Camavinga to Carreras. There's Chouameni. Just leans back, lofts the ball out to Valverde. The Real Madrid number 8, rolling it down the right-hand side of the penalty area and getting the return ball as well. Then checks it back. Chance for a shot on the turn. That's taking a deflection that spins it wide. And a play for a Real Madrid corner, which is their first of the night.
Just brilliant play from Valverde, the way he gets involved. He gets the ball again, he looks like he's going to whip it across, but he cuts the ball back, and Arda Güler has so much time. He takes too long. It allows Otamendi to come out and get a deflection on the shot. Just brilliant play from the Real Madrid captain.
Now the young Turkish midfielder celebrating his 21st birthday today, and he already had the ball in the net once. He was disallowed for an offside against his teammate Gonzalo. Not too far away there. So this is Real Madrid's first corner of the night. Benfica have had a couple of them. Rudiger is trying to get away from Auschwitz, and Dedic, who are doubling up on him at the far post area. And Rudiger's going to be called over by the referee. Certainly a very physical approach to being able to get between the two defenders, who are also being spoken to. So Real trying to flood the 6-yard box in a way that Benfica didn't. Corner is worked short. Valverde, very clever. Arda Güler through the 6-yard box. Might get a second opportunity as he was half cleared. But it'll be knocked away by Pavlidis, and he'll look long. Just allowing Benfica to push up back outside their own penalty area again.
Well, we talked about set pieces, didn't we? And that was a really well-worked set piece. Again, Valverde, the captain, being involved in it. As the ball came back to him, he could easily have crossed it. He didn't. He played it in behind. It was a wonderful opportunity for Real Madrid.
Thomas Araujo getting it away for Benfica. Barrera, Auschwitz. A lovely little turn in the heart of the midfield. For Silva caught. Camavinga chuntering away after the contact between the pair of them. For Silva's goal that gave Benfica a lead that they had for just a fraction under 2 minutes. Chouameni with the equalising goal. A couple of minutes around the goals around the 15-minute mark here on Talksport. That's still the way of it, nearly half an hour on. Real Madrid 1, Benfica 1. Real Madrid leading 2-1 on aggregate. Half-time whistle approaching at Stoke, where there's been another goal for Dave Rowe.
Equaliser, Stoke 1, Oxford 1. Slammed in by Kieran Brown. A corner kick was recycled towards the left-hand side. Brannigan chipped the ball in for Stanley Mills to head the ball across the penalty area, and Kieran Brown thumped it in with his left foot. All square, Stoke 1, Oxford 1.
It's only their 4th goal in the last 10 games, Oxford, but tying it up away at Stoke, who haven't won in their last 8. 1-1 there, 1-1 in this one as well. Real bringing it forward again towards the edge of the penalty area. Arda Güler just dropping off, clipping it left-footed down towards Valverde. He's got a surprising amount of space, and that prompts him to try his luck from 25 yards out. It was blocked. Ricochets through the midfield. Rudiger patrolling well, heads it on. Out to the right-hand side again, where Alexander-Arnold's ball comes in. It's taking a flick header from Gonzalo inside the penalty area, which was acrobatically saved, but the referee had spotted an infringement. And the free kick goes Benfica's way inside their own box in the closing minute of the first half at 1-1.
Look, Benfica have played really well in this first half. I mean, really well. But when they're defending, I feel they drop too deep. And then if Real Madrid are able to get to the byline and cut the ball back, there's yards of space for someone to come on and run onto, like they did with Chouameni for the equaliser as well. They need to just push up a little bit more and trust the defenders behind them rather than just dropping off completely.
Carreras to Vinicius, left-hand side of the penalty area, running at Dedic again. Scoops it inside the box, took a deflection. Valverde coming onto it, hit it with the outside of the right boot, and it's deflected away. It was a shot that was going wide, but he gets a corner out of it as we go into stoppage time at the end of the first half.
It's just so difficult to mark one-on-one because he can go inside, he can go outside, and to be fair, Vinny Jr. went past Dedic there, but well done to the Benfica fullback because he didn't allow him to come inside on his right foot where the goal opens up, of course, like the goal last week.
In comes the corner. Benfica player went down inside the penalty area, very quickly back on his feet. It's half clear, Valverde's ball in, that's headed away outside the box, back in from Alexander-Arnold. Headed again clear from the edge of the penalty area by Thomas Araujo. We're midway through, just one additional minute at the end of this first half, and the only time added on is because of the inspection to the goal that subsequently got chalked off for offside. Vinicius going down, holding his face as he tried to get past Dedic. The referee immediately, having blown the whistle, makes the motion of a flailing arm to indicate exactly why he's given the free kick. Vinicius is back on his feet and far from happy. And Dedic holding him off and just calling, not with the elbow or anything, it was more the fingers just around the side of the face. Vinicius made sure that the referee appreciated contact had been made. The first half's going to end with a Real Madrid free kick from out wide, but in a good position.
Oh, this could be a massive moment, but Vinny Jr. now is really enjoying himself up against Dedic, and the fullback quite simply has to say to Richard Rios, look, stand in front of him, stand on his toes, don't let him receive the ball and able to run at me in a one-on-one situation, because he's one of the best players in the world.
Otamendi again in discussion with the referee. So this will be the last moment of the first half. I think Otamendi complaining about the time that's been added on because a minimum of a minute was stipulated. We've played 2 already. Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to take this free kick. Level with the penalty spot. Raises his left arm above his head and then is told to wait because a Real Madrid player has gone down. It's Asensio. It's a couple of yards outside the 6-yard box. Rios was the Benfica player involved. It's a little bit of overzealous jockeying for position. So they're both been sorted out by the referee, and Trent will try again. Swing another ball in. Again, raises his left arm. Right-footed delivery in towards the near post. Diving header gets it outside the penalty area, and that is half-time. Benfica making a really good fist of this. They led, albeit only for a couple of minutes. Rafa Silva's goal quickly cancelled out by Chouameni. And although Real Madrid then had the ball in the net again, Arda Gulesh's goal disallowed because of an offside against Gonzalo, Benfica will feel that they have been the better side. They're certainly not out of it, although it's 1-1 on the night and 2 on the Real Madrid on aggregate at half-time.
Jim, thanks very much. We'll let Scott Minto, the former Benfica defender, gather his thoughts. Meantime, there's a goal late in the first half in the French capital, Kev Hatchard's.
We could be on for a shock here because it's PSG 0, Monaco 1 at half-time. Monaco making the tie 3-3 on aggregate on the stroke of half-time. It was a cross from the left from Caio Henrique. It was touched on to Akliouche by the very calm Koulibaly, and then Akliouche from about 8 yards fired a low shot into the far corner. So PSG 0, Monaco 1, that's 3-3. It's coming up to half-time in Turin. Juventus 1-0 up against Galatasaray with a Locatelli penalty. Juve 5-3 down on aggregate.
Thank you very much. We'll keep you updated, of course, with the other ties and the Championship as well. The game here at Bramall Lane, Sheffield United 0, Coventry 0. Second half has kicked off, but let's go back. In fact, Monaco, by the way, 1-0 up away to Paris Saint-Germain, warmed up perfectly the weekend. They came from 2 down to win at the leaders Lens at the weekend. Ironically, that knocked Lens off top spot. PSG went back top of the table in France. But Scott Minto, what a great first half. First of all, let's just pay tribute to both sets of players. I think this first half, Real Madrid 1, Benfica 1, has been absolutely brilliant. It's been end to end, and maybe it's a great advert for this these playoffs and the league stage.
Couldn't agree more. Hey, this is a really good game of football. I mean, 2 of the biggest clubs in world football and most supported, of course. And do you know what? Benfica have come to the Bernabeu and they've played really well. They played better than they did last week at the Stadio de Luz, where they started well for the first 15 minutes and then Real Madrid just took over. And my worry from being an ex-Benfica player is, you know, coming here now, are they able to do something a little what they couldn't even do last week at the Bernabeu in Madrid? And actually they have. And they'll be kicking themselves that they went 1-0 up, and deservedly so, and then they couldn't hold that lead for more than a couple of minutes. You know, they didn't allow, and I know what this crowd in the Bernabeu are like. You know, I covered La Liga for 4 years, every single home and away game of Real Madrid. They can get on top of you, or they can certainly try to, if they're not happy. You have to be a very strong character, and clearly there are a lot of strong characters at Real Madrid. But look, at times it's been end to end, there's been no midfield, and I'm thinking, this is almost kiddies football, but bring it on. But I've loved it, I have to say. I've absolutely loved it so far.
1-1 on the night, 2-1 to Madrid on aggregate. We'll get back to Scott Minto in a second, but another goal in the Championship, another one at the Den, Ian Abrahams.
Probably game over now. Millwall 3, Birmingham 0. It was a Femi Aziz free kick. It came off a Birmingham defender, looked to be going out of play, but there was a Millwall player around the back who didn't give up on it, and from the byline just cut it back for Jake Cooper 6 yards out to steer the ball home. Both centre-halves have scored, neither with a header. Millwall 3, Birmingham 0.
Scott Minto, by the time Benfica scored to make it 1-0, 13 minutes, and actually Sheffield United have scored here to make it 1-0. The home side lead against the league leaders. Alan Biggs.
Yes, Sheffield United take a deserved lead here. It is Harrison Burrows who's found the net for the second game running, and it was a deflected shot, I believe, as he burst into the area, but he was in a similar position from which he scored in the Steel City derby last Sunday against Sheffield Wednesday. He got the Blades' second goal on that occasion. It's no more than they deserve on their performance. They were superb in the first half in everything but finishing off the chances they created. Coventry defended well. Burrows making a run into the box, getting it onto his right foot eventually, and it deflected in. The goalkeeper really had absolutely no chance. Nifty footwork onto his right foot, and Burrows celebrates a deserved Sheffield United goal. They might have had a penalty. There was appeals for it just before half-time. Femi Siriki went down rather easily. That's why it's a debatable point, with Mason Clark's hand on his elbow. But a former Peterborough player and a favourite of Adrian Durham has worked his magic again for Sheffield United.
I didn't even know he had a right foot. Harrison Burrows with the goal, and Sheffield United here lead 1-0. This is live on Talksport 2. But Scott Minto, it had been all Benfica before they took the lead. And then what a brilliant ball back from Valverde. What a brilliant finish from Chouameni. That is a great goal.
Do you know what? I think he's so underrated, and yet he's been the captain of Real Madrid. And as Jim said, 350 games now for the biggest club in the world. He's just so versatile, and actually they swapped over a point as well after 1-1. Valverde came on the left-hand side and Camavinga went on the right. It's almost as if wherever the biggest danger is, they need their man to, without the ball as well as with the ball, to help stop the opposition dominating the game. And yeah, it was a brilliant cutback. It was such a clever cutback, and it wasn't the only time he did that in that first half. He did it a couple of times, and just on the ball, he just looks like these top players, they play at their pace, and it looks like a little bit of slow motion, but suddenly 2 passes later, he's like a chess player. He knows what to do because he knows what's coming next. I think he's a brilliant player. It was a brilliant cutback, and it was really important for Real Madrid. Look, they are very strong mentally, but really important because Benfica started well. They got the goal. It was level on aggregate for Real Madrid to score so soon after.
Scott, for the time being, thank you very much. Scott's got away there with not even to talk about the offside. Extremely dubious cartoon telling us it's offside. Utterly ridiculous. But it is Real Madrid 1, Benfica 1, 2-1 to Real Madrid on aggregate. Second half coming up live on Talksport. Let's get the other Champions League half-times with Talksport's Kev Hatchard.
Well, it is PSG 0, Monaco 1 at half-time, so that's 3-3 on aggregate. A goal on the stroke of half-time from Magnus Akliouche. It was a left-wing cross from Caio Henrique, helped into Akliouche's path by the excellent Mamadou Koulibaly, and then a calm finish into the bottom corner. Monaco had chances before that. Koulibaly blazed over from close range. Thilo Kehrer had a header wide at the other end. Bradley Barcola rattled the crossbar. Elsewhere, it is Juventus 1, Galatasaray 0. Juventus still 5-3 down on aggregate. That was a Manuel Locatelli penalty in the 37th minute after Lucas Torreira, the former Arsenal player, had hacked down Kefren Turam. So Juventus 1, Galatasaray 0. Juve still with work to do, 5-3 down.
Juve coach Luciano Spalletti saying one goal can change everything. Let's see if he's right. In the second half, Juve 1 up, but still a huge amount of work to do. So Sheffield United lead Coventry here by a goal to nil. Half-time in the 8 o'clock kick-off at Stoke. Dave Rowe.
It's Stoke 1, Oxford 1. Stoke have been on top and spurned several chances before going ahead, notably when Manhoof squared for Raksaki, who shot straight at Cumming. They also had a decent penalty shout turned down early on when Long appeared to foul Wilmot. Nothing given there, but Stoke did take the lead when Oxford's long throw routine broke down. The home side broke quickly, and Manhoof fed Lamine Cisse, who did provide the finish. It looked like Oxford would rue. A big miss by Stanley Mills, who fired wastefully wide when it was 0-0, but Mills then teed up the equaliser. Brannigan's ball clipped into the box. Mills headed across, and the finish by Kieran Brown was absolutely exquisite. Maybe he should play further forward. At the break, Stoke 1, Oxford 1.
And the leaders level here at Bramall Lane, Alan Biggs.
Yeah, Sheffield United 1, Coventry City 1, and yes, Haji Wright has scored again, his 17th of the season. Quite a response from Coventry, scoring that goal right in front of their several thousand supporters, behind the goal that Haji Wright hit with a shot that he squeezed through a number of players from just inside the area, set up by Mason Clark, and somehow he curled it in past, I think, an unsighted goalkeeper. So Coventry back level. I think they'd be more delighted with a 1-1 scoreline than Sheffield United will be if they've been so dominant. Sheffield United 1, Coventry 1.
And a red card at Millwall. Which way's that gone, Ian Abrams?
10 gone in the second half. Millwall 3, Birmingham 0. Birmingham will play the rest of the game with 10 men. John Solis sent off. Second bookable offence for a foul on Casper de Nore. And as you say, Adrian, 2 lemons make a strawberry, and off he trotted. Millwall well in control now. Millwall 3, 10-man Birmingham 0.
And a couple of goals have gone in the National League. Aldershot, incredible recovery under John Coleman. 1 up at Braintree. Hartlepool 2 now. Carlisle United 0. Carlisle 3rd at the start of the evening. You're listening to the Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. All square 1-1. Real Madrid, Benfica. Real Madrid lead 2-1 on aggregate. Second half next.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Dear Tesco Mobile Club Card customer, we have some important news to share regarding your contract. It's not changing. Because with Club Card prices, your price stays frozen. So, unlike with some other networks, you'll have one less surprise bill to worry about. Yours helpfully, Tesco Mobile.
It pays to be connected. P.S. Terms at tescomobile.com/frozen.
Daniel, out of all your decisions lately, choosing Avanti West Coast First Class is by far your best. Peace and space to work, and that's service. You don't have to find the coffee finds you. Oh, what's that? The smell of bacon and success, Daniel. Success.
Arrive ready with Avanti West Coast First Class. Enjoy delicious, freshly prepared food and drink and service to your seat. Some journeys belong in First Class. Book direct with Avanti West Coast. Exclusions and limitations apply.
Tesco Finest Sourdough. The real breadwinner. Untoasted, really toasted, or buttered right to the edges. Whatever floats your toast, it's delicious either way. It's why only the finest bakers take 24 hours to carefully craft our sourdough. Make your everyday taste better with Tesco Finest. Majority of larger stores.
Let's roar! This is Cheltenham. And at LiveScoreBet, we're celebrating by giving you a £10 free bet when you bet £10 on the first race every day of the festival. Whether you're a Cheltenham novice or a seasoned pro, be there when the next chapter is written. Cheltenham with LiveScoreBet. This is total betting. First cash bet on first race of Cheltenham each day. Minimum odds evens. Excludes each way bets. Free bet up to £10. Use same day on horse racing. Terms apply. Gambleaware.org. 18+.
Get 3 months half price when you switch to an unlimited SIM with 3. That means quick streaming, faster downloads, and more money to spend on the things you love. Join the UK's fastest 5G network and get your unlimited SIM today. Buy now in store or c3.co.uk.
Unlimited 24-month light plan. Proof of switching required. Based on Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved. Subject to credit checks and terms.
Love game shows? Then here's a question for you. Where can you play exclusive ITV slots like Britain's Got Talent, The Cube, and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? Easy. Only at 32 Red. Join and get 100 free spins on Sweet Bonanza. Play incredible at 32 Red. 18 plus gambleaware.org. New accounts only. Minimum £10 deposit. 10 times wagering. Max stakes apply. Visit 32red.com for full terms.
To celebrate the cinematic release of Baz Luhrmann's epic Elvis Presley in concert, Talksport are honouring all things The King. Join Ali Graceland McCoist and Alan Dis Graceland Brazil Monday morning from 6 and get ready for a little less football conversation and a little more hip-shaking action. It's an all-shook-up jock and goal meets rock and roll morning medley of music, mirth and memories. Viva Last Breakfast on Talksport with Baz Luhrmann's epic Elvis Presley in concert. In cinemas everywhere February 27th.
Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
More fun than paying your gas bill. Kick off live on Talksport.
And Coventry have gone in front here at Bramall Lane. Alan Biggs.
Sheffield United 1, Coventry 2. They've turned it around from going behind at the start of this second half. Jack Rudoni is the scorer. Ephron Mason-Clark with a cross in from the left, and a wonderful glancing header from Rudoni has made it Sheffield United 1, Coventry 2.
And that's live on Talksport 2. Real Madrid 1, Benfica 1. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Bet on this season's Champions League action live tonight. Visit ladbrokes.com. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Yeah, Real Madrid are 23-20 to win this match. Benfica are 16-5 to draw in 98-5. Vinicius Junior to score next. 6-1. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. BigGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Bet on this season's Champions League action live tonight. Visit ladbrokes.com. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Goal in the National League. What a game in the bottom four. Gateshead 3, Morecambe 3. Billy Chadwick with his second of the night. This one a penalty. Real Madrid 1, Benfica 1. Real Madrid 2-1 up on aggregate. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. We're going to keep you in touch with all the goals that go in second half in the Championship tonight and in the Champions League as well. Juventus 1 up, 5-3 down on aggregate against Galatasaray. PSG 1 down on the night against Monaco at home, 3-3 on aggregate earlier. Atalanta made it through with a late penalty to knock Dortmund out. But Real Madrid all square on the night. As it stands, they are heading through. Let's get the second half live on Talksport with Scott Minto and Jim Proudfoot.
Adrian, thank you. So Real Madrid leading by a goal on aggregate, but Benfica undoubtedly the better side over the opening 45 minutes on the balance of play in the game in Madrid. There's no sign of any changes being made at half-time. What will the tactical differences be? What will Mourinho have been hoping the message will have been got across to his players?
You mean telepathically?
Yeah.
What is he saying?
Yeah. When he's got his yogurt pot, his big bit of string from the car park into the dressing room, and he's telling them, what's he saying?
Do you know what? He'd be really happy with that first half. He'd be so disappointed they weren't able to hold that lead for a little bit longer. As I mentioned about the fans and how demanding they are. If they believe that they will be going out of the Champions League, their trophy, then they will suddenly get on top of their team. But I think generally speaking, with the ball, they've been really, really good. Can then the final ball be a little bit better with a little bit more quality? Can they test Thibaut Courtois more? I think defensively they need to get tighter. They need to get tighter to the people on the ball and not just drop off, because we saw not just with the goal, but on several occasions them dropping off too much and then that cutback being so dangerous. But I think he'd be really happy, and when it comes to Arbeloa as well, I think he already made the change with Camavinga going on the right and Valverde going on the left to protect the left back, Carreras, who, Benfica, let's be fair, many times, especially early in the first half, were bombing down that right-hand side. Yeah, fascinating first half. Hope the second half is similar.
A couple of National League goals to tell you about. Braintree have equalised at home to Aldershot. That's 1-1. Morecambe back ahead at Gateshead. Gateshead 3, Morecambe 4. With 8 minutes of the second half gone in that one. We're just underway for the second half in this one.
It's Benfica kicking from right to left who've got the game underway. They're in all red. Real Madrid in their all white. And an early touch of the ball for Trubin. Benfica goalkeeper smacking it forward. Rudiger deliberately ducked underneath it, knowing it was going to go all the way through to Thibaut Courtois. Well, they've only lost 5 of their 39 home games since the start of last season at Real Madrid. A little bit of context to how well Benfica have played tonight. Benfica have actually won more of the previous meetings between these two than Real themselves have, including the final back in 1962. The Real have got a good record against Portuguese opposition, though, unbeaten in 11 at home to Portuguese teams. And if that run becomes 12 over the next 45 minutes or so, then they will be through. Remember, it's Sporting or Manchester City that will get the winners of this. The draw is going to be made on Friday, and you'll hear first news of it here on Talksport. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. As Camavinga gets the ball forward down the Real Madrid left. Vinicius up against Dedic again. Dedic, who on the whole has dealt with him pretty well, but he's needed Rios to come back and double up on a few occasions. Ball now laid back towards Camavinga. Carreras, all of a sudden there's space for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Right hand side of the penalty area. Valverde with a complete air shot 9 yards out. It was a great ball, whistled in at a good pace. He tried to smack it with his right foot and went far too early and kicked over the top of the ball.
Just talked about how important he is and how well he played in the first half, both offensively and defensively, and then he does say a complete air shot. One of my golf shots.
Apparently your air shots don't go as far as that. Here's Thibaut Courtois, a couple of yards outside his own penalty area as he plays it to his left. Real beaten at home by Manchester City in Europe this season, but that's one of only 3 of the last 24 the home games that they've lost in the Champions League. A competition that has always brought the best out of them. Even on off nights, they tend just to find a way to salvage it. And you think of that extraordinary comeback against Manchester City a few years ago as perhaps being the best illustration of that.
That springs to mind. When actually they should have been knocked out on so many occasions in that particular year. Against PSG, obviously Liverpool in the final. Courtois was without doubt man of the match. And just that opportunity earlier on. I mean, maybe Valverde would be thinking the ball was played a little bit too much in front of him, but he's got to get some kind of connection on that, and that would have been really heartbreaking for Benfica and a massive boost for Real Madrid so early in the second half.
Well, we're 3 minutes into the second half and it's still 1-1 on the night. Trubin just kept honest as Valverde sends in what I'm sure was a miss-hit cross rather than a shot. Trubin had to take a couple of hasty steps back, then swung on the crossbar as the ball just cleared him and went onto the roof of the net. Definitely a miss-hit from Valverde. They had to play for a goal kick. Juventus down to 10 as they chase the game against Galatasaray. Let's get news of that from Talksport's Kev Hatchard.
Juventus have had Lloyd Kelly sent off for a second yellow card. He was already on a booking. He jumped for a header, won the header, but then landed on the Achilles of Baris Alper Yilmaz, and the referee has shown a second yellow card, and actually he's looking at the monitor to see if it should be upgraded to a red. But either way, Lloyd Kelly off for Juventus.
So the Englishman dismissed, and Juventus with it all to do there. 5-3 down on aggregate. Carlisle also down to 10 men in their National League game after Harvey McAdam has been sent off, and they're losing at Hartlepool 2-0. A man down as well. Here comes Benfica with Vangelis Pavlidis, and he's running towards the edge of the penalty area, taking on Rudiger, and then just trying to slip the ball to his left-hand side for Rafa Silva. Got it all wrong, and he barely clipped it with the studs of his boot, and it was very easily dealt with.
Never looked like he had any real purpose in that run, or was going to get away from any defenders. And Rafa Silva made the run. He wasn't played in, and then he was played in too late, and it was behind him. Got to do better when you get these opportunities. Real Madrid have started the second half really well.
Carreras working the ball back in the midfield. Gonzalo then clipped over the top by Gulesh. Straight through to the Benfica goalkeeper Trubin. 5 minutes through the second half. Still 1-1 and 2-1 to Real Madrid on aggregate. Dahl played forward to Sheldrap. Otamendi with a crossfield ball that was filed under hopeful. Camavinga easily able to pick it up, and then another couple of rumbustious challenges coming in. One of them from Otamendi, and he is cautioned as a result. It's his 11th yellow card of the season, and Chouameni is down in a whole heap of pain.
Well, it's not Otamendi unless he does a tackle like that again, is it? And being 38 now as well, this could well be his last Champions League game. And if Real Madrid do score another goal, certainly two, I would not be surprised if he finds another card.
Well, there are almost 2 yellow card offences there as he went in and caught Vinicius and then had a swipe with the right foot and just took the legs of Chouameni away from him.
I actually quite like the first one. Showed good strength. Got the ball, got the man. The second one couldn't get away with it.
So he's been carded and will be suspended for the next match if Benfica make it through. It's a free kick to Real Madrid. Gonzalo comes back onside. The ball is pinged in towards Rudiger, and it's well defended by the retreating Rios, who's claiming that Rudiger got the last touch. I don't think anybody was convinced by that. It's going to be a Real Madrid corner.
Yeah, it has been a good start to the second half from Real Madrid. They've pinned Benfica in, not able to get out as yet. We'll have to wait and see whether they can make something of this dominance in the second half. The longer it goes on, the more nervous the Bernabeu will get.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, winner of this competition back in 2019, lost a couple of finals to Real Madrid in his Liverpool days, but hoping to help propel them to one here. And he's going to come across to take the corner. Referee again just asks for a delay because of everything that is going on off the ball. In a way swinger from Alexander-Arnold towards the penalty spot, headed towards goal. Trubin at full stretch. It's cleared the bar from Raul Asensio. Not by much, it was a good effort.
No, I think Trubin had it, to be fair. It was a really good battle between him and Dahl. Really clean header. Yeah, I think Trubin had that covered.
Alice Sutton come from behind to take the lead at Yeovil in the National League. There's a championship goal at Stoke for Dave Rowe.
Stoke back in front. Stoke 2, Oxford 1. Jezra and Raksaki with a far post header from a lovely deep cross by Sorba Thomas from the left-hand side. Fine header by Raksaki coming moments after Oxford struck the own side of the crossbar through Lancashire. Raksaki has scored. Stoke 2, Oxford 1.
And that'll be their first win in 9 if they can hold on there. Stoke who've just drifted down to 16th in the table. Taking on second bottom, Oxford leading 2-1. Here's Sheldrap coming forward for Benfica towards the edge of the penalty area. Gulesh coming in, trying to make a challenge, and then the sliding challenge comes in inside the penalty area to get it away from Rios, but put it out for a Benfica corner.
Well, every time I look at Sheldrap, I keep thinking to myself, he must be in his GCSE year. He looks about 15. I mean, he's 21, but he's very skillful down that left-hand side, just cutting inside Trent. And Trent does really well, actually, because the ball's played for Rafa Silva. And he would have had a shot on target, and Trent just gets the last-ditch tackle in.
Corner count tied at 3 now. Sheldrap to take this latest one for Benfica. It's a deeper one, straight into the hands of Courtois. They've got themselves into that kind of position often enough to be as wasteful as that with the delivery. Courtois, the full extension of the 8 seconds before just dropping the ball at his feet. Side-footing it forward here. It's a very clever little back heel flick round the corner from Arda Gulesh. Gonzalo's dropped off as well, finds Vinicius. Carreras making a run outside him, but the ball is played into a more central area. Valverde, who's been all over the midfield so far tonight, and is now playing on the left of the 2 central midfielders. Work forward from him to the retreating Gonzalo, whose number of starts is up in the double figures now. Chouameni, score of the Real Madrid equaliser on the 16-minute mark. We're 10 minutes into the second period now. Real Madrid don't have to score, they've just got to contain, but trying to get a 2-goal advantage, which you certainly feel would be enough to knock Benfica out. 2-1 up on aggregate at the moment. It's Camavinga twisting, trying to get the ball onto his left foot to get a shot, and he couldn't. Plays it back for Chouameni. Now on the right-hand side, Trent Alexander-Arnold in space. Arda Güler has worked it the other way, though. Out towards Carreras, Vinicius taking over. He's had a quiet start of the second half. He's made his way inside the penalty area here, but they couldn't slip it in towards him. Valverde tried on the turn on the edge of the penalty area. They won the second ball. Trent's got it. Trent onto his left foot, then onto his right, and fires it just wide. Great play by Alexander-Arnold. Dropped his shoulder twice, and the Benfica players fought both dummies. Then got it back onto his right foot and hit a low, crisp effort just past the far post with Trubin beaten.
Do you know what? Benfica lost the ball there. It was about 3 or 4 Benfica and Real Madrid players that just sometimes just get rid of it or play it towards an area where you don't lose the ball and suddenly you're under pressure. Yeah, Trent does so well there. He looks the shape on his right foot, he comes on his left foot, he comes back on his right foot, he has the shot, goes through Otamendi's legs. And Trubin is absolutely beaten there.
Well, a yellow card for Raul Asensio for a poor late challenge on the touchline. He's only back in the side tonight after suspension. He missed the first leg because of the totting up process, and got a red card against Benfica on match day 8. Also sent off in the Club World Cup as well. 6th yellow card of the season.
It's a ridiculous challenge. Don't make that type of challenge. Don't need to make that type of challenge, and now you're one mistimed tackle away from being sent off.
Eastleigh in danger of getting pulled into the National League relegation battle, but they lead Basement Boys Truro by a goal to nil. This is 1-1 between Real Madrid and Benfica on Talksport. Our coverage of the Champions League with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Ashler's waiting in the midfield for a pass that never came. Play forward out to the Benfica right, where they win a throw. Now we're 12 minutes into the second half at 1-1. Red card at the Parc des Princes. Kev Hadjard watching on.
It is PSG nil, Monaco 1, 3-3 on aggregate, and Monaco's Mamadou Koulibaly's been sent off. He picked up his first yellow card for fouling Nuno Mendes, his second booking for fouling Achraf Hakimi. He goes off, so Monaco down to 10. PSG nil, Monaco 1, 3-3 on aggregate.
Carreras stops penalty area against his old club very ably. Forward towards halfway from the £42 million man. Camavinga, so much space in the midfield now. Trent Alexander-Arnold coming forward, and he's clipped it past Vinicius, and it'll drift out of play for a throw to Benfica in their right back position.
Yeah, right idea, just wrong execution, and you expect better from him with the quality that he's got. And Vinny Jr., if that had been played into his path, he would have been through on goal. And that's something which Real Madrid on the counter-attack, they do look dangerous. The spaces in both sets of midfield, though, when they have the ball.
Well, ball played forward towards Rafa Silva, clipped the referee on its way through, and he immediately put both hands up to apologise. There's a drop ball to Benfica, and that had just taken the momentum out of the counter-attack. Real very quickly got themselves back goal side. We just heard about a red card in Paris. There's been a goal there now as well. Kev Hadjard.
And PSG are back in front in the tie. It's now PSG 1, Monaco 1, and from the resultant free kick after Koulibaly had been sent off, they played it short down the right. Desiree Doué fired the ball into the 6-yard box. There was the captain Marquinhos to score from close range. PSG 1, Monaco 1. PSG now 4-3 up on aggregate.
Dahl crossing a ball inside the penalty area, headed away from the edge of the 6-yard box, down towards Vinicius again. Was he fouled? He was very quickly back on his feet. Then one back well by Barreiro. Right footed shot from the edge of the penalty area, clips the top of the bar. They're getting closer. It's Rafa Silva again. It just came to him near the edge of the penalty area. The Vinicius had lost it. Barreiro did brilliantly to slide in and win it back. Pavlidis flicked it off to his left, and then a scooped effort with the top of the right boot from Rafa Silva brushes the bar on its way over. 1-1.
Yeah, and I think there was a little touch there as well from Raul Asensio, which does go into the corner, and it meant that it's flicked the bar, and if it hadn't have been that touch, then maybe it would have been a goal.
Corner then, taken by Ashnes, easily headed away at the near post. We played an hour, half an hour to go. It's all that Benfica have got left in Europe, unless they can find a goal to put them ahead on the night, tie things up on aggregate. More live football from Europe tomorrow night. Stuttgart Celtic and Paris Zrinski back-to-back over on Talksport 2. It's the Europa League playoff and the Conference League playoff. And then Forest, you would imagine, coasting after a brilliant performance in Istanbul last week. They're at home to Fenerbahce, and that's an 8 o'clock kickoff with the build-up starting at 7 here on Talk Sport tomorrow. Friday night, Premier League returns, Midlands derby, Wolves against Villa, and on Talk Sport 2, it's Bristol City against Watford, and then game day exclusive for Saturday lunchtime on the South Coast. Bournemouth recovering after a tricky spell that they had either side of Christmas, doing well under Andoni Iraola. Sunderland have just hit a wall in the recent weeks, the two meeting at the Vitality. Saturday lunchtime, 11 o'clock, the build-up starts with 12:30 kick-off. Bournemouth, Sunderland. This one, 1-1. Don't forget the Champions League draw Friday as well. The other European draws also on Friday. Will it be Real Madrid in it again? They've been in the last 16 every season since 1997. Having to survive the odd-nervy moment here. Making their way forward, Chouameni. He wasn't going particularly quickly as he drove forward, but quickly enough to make it a good race against Pavlidis, who's caught him and given a free kick away in the battle of the two number 14s. Free kick to Real Madrid, 20 yards outside the penalty area.
Yeah, it's definite foul. It's a good run from Chouameni. Just trying to carry the ball and take the pressure off Real Madrid a little bit again. And they started the second half really well, but Benfica have shown a lot of character and resilience. You know, we were thinking it definitely wouldn't stay 1-1. Now it's kind of, well, the next goal is absolutely crucial. Real Madrid get it, probably tie over. Benfica get it, they'll definitely believe they can go on and win.
That game at Gateshead, incidentally, who says relegation battles aren't good? Gateshead, second bottom of the National League. Morecambe, third bottom of the National League. It's 4-4 with 15 minutes to go. Hartlepool 3 up against the 10 men of Carlisle as well. Real Madrid 1, Benfica 1 with 17 minutes to go. Aldershot have just taken the lead, talking the National League away to Braintree. They're 2-1 up and flying under John Coleman. The Championship back around the grounds in a moment. Millwall 3, Birmingham 0, Norwich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sheffield United 1, Coventry 2, and Rios has possession for Benfica. Back from him to Barrera, to Otamendi, to Barrera again. Otamendi once more. Will this be his last ever Champions League tie? Look forward towards Pavlidis, finding a little bit of space between the lines. Rios has made a run ahead of him. Rafa Silva just darts across the edge of the penalty area from left to right. Barrero lays it off. Dedic trying to turn. Slips, still gets the better of Carreras. And the ball is knocked away. Now come again with Arsnes, the bald-headed central midfielder. Played round the corner to the left for Dahl. Now Sheldrup. Dahl once more. Dark-haired, thick-set defender. Forward from him to Arsnes. Deflection from Valverde. Cut out the pass. Gulesh now should be able to bring it forward down the Real Madrid right. It's a beautiful little nutmeg of Arsnes, who's just waiting to play the ball forward. Now Rios flicked it away from him. Barrero bringing it forward now for Benfica. Laid out to Sheldrup on the left. It just took a little touch, but still found his man. Back for Arsnes. Rios. And he shouldn't have pulled the trigger from 40 yards. High and wide, out of play. 26 minutes to go. Real Madrid still 1 up on aggregate.
Well, Courtois difficult enough to beat from 5-10 yards, let alone, as you say, 35-40 yards. Tie still in the balance, though.
Probably isn't in Paris. Here's Kevin Hatchard.
Breathing space for PSG. 2-1 up on the night, 5-3 up on aggregate. A long drive by Ashraf Hakimi, spilled by the goalkeeper Philip Kern, and there was Kvicha Kvaratskhelia to tuck home from close range. PSG 2-1 up on the night, 5-3 on aggregate.
And they get Barcelona or Chelsea if they win. And that will be a mouth-watering tie. There won't be any bad ones in the round of 16. There are some absolutely fascinating encounters.
And it's Newcastle, isn't it? Barcelona or Chelsea as well.
Yep, absolutely. And as I mentioned a couple of times, that draw is on Friday. You'll hear first news of it on Talksport. 20 minutes into the second half. 1-1 between Real Madrid and Benfica, with Jim Proudfoot and Scott Minto talking you through the action. Valverde's coming in off the right flank for the men in white, pulled back inside the centre circle for Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is playing in central midfield in this latest phase of play. Camavinga back out to the Real Madrid left, gets an instant return ball from Vinicius, back from him to Rudiger. Rudiger will clip it right-footed. Surely too much on that for Gulesh. It's gone out of play for a goal kick. Let's go back round the grounds in the Championship. First of all to the Den, Millwall Birmingham. Ian Abrahams.
7 minutes to go still. Millwall 3, Birmingham 0. The goals from Jake Cooper in the second half out after Kramer and Aziz in the first half. And I tell you what, Birmingham down to 10 men have offered very little here. Millwall winning at a canter. Millwall 3, Birmingham 0.
Now Birmingham next in action. A big game at home to Middlesbrough Monday night. That is live for you on Talksport 2. We've got a Carrow Road next. Mike Schewel.
Norwich City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Goals in the first half from Chris Goran and Magoma. Norwich have pressed a lot in the second. They've had a lot of control and not really been troubled by Wednesday, who've yet to have a shot on target. It's Norwich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Valverde playing the ball down the Real Madrid right for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Gets involved in a wrestling match that he lost to Dahl. And he can flick it forward towards halfway. Beautifully turned around the corner by Pavlidis for Sheldrup. He's been fouled and Valverde caught him and might get a yellow card as a result, as the referee, I think he said no. And just coming in and stop the counter-attack. Valverde knew exactly what he was doing. It's a good free kick to give away. Our live commentary game on Talksport 2. The leaders, Coventry, ahead at Bramall Lane. The last we heard from Alan Biggs.
Yeah, still Sheffield United 1, Coventry 2. The game right on the edge. Could go either way. Opportunities at both ends. And Sheffield United appeal for a penalty. And I think the referee's right. He's awarded a yellow card for diving. It looked pretty clear. Sheffield United 1, Coventry 2.
And finally this Stoke, Dave Rowe.
Stoke 2, Oxford 1 with 19 still to go. Stoke should be 3-1 up. Cisse going close moments ago. Header cleared off the line. Oxford have made changes and Prelec off the bench. He has shot wide. Stoke 2, Oxford 1.
In the National League, Bottom Club Truro have equalised at Eastleigh through Luke Jeffka. And the 10 men of Carlisle have got one back at Hartlepool, but too little too late. Hartlepool 3, Carlisle 1. Benfica bringing it forward. We're midway through the second half. And this tie still in the balance. You couldn't bet against Benfica getting the goal that they need. Flicked off towards Sheldrup. Might come now. Back from him towards Pavlidis, and he just came behind him. And Chouamani's going to be able to bring it away, Scott. And then he's giving it away. Arsenal's getting it back forward. Pavlidis again, just wide.
Tell you what, there's two great opportunities for Benfica within the space of 30 seconds. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Antonio Rudiger, but the referee's saying quickly to the bench of Real Madrid, come on and try and see if he's okay. But it's Chouamani who gives the ball away. Arsenes plays the ball in quickly to Rafa Silva, and as Carreras comes in one side and Antonio Rudiger comes into the other to try and block the shot. Carreras, the left back, has caught the tough centre half in the chest. Very, very painful. Wouldn't stay down unless there was a proper reason. That is painful, but it just goes to show what those two players, him in particular, what he'll go through to make sure that Real Madrid go through to the next round. But Benfica are not going away. There's still plenty of time to get that important, crucial goal, which would make sure it would be equal in terms of legs. My goodness me, this could easily go to extra time.
Only 20 minutes to go. I mean, Mourinho, from his vantage point, I understand he's in one of the radio commentary boxes at the Bernabeu, will be thrilled really with the fact that his side have got a platform, that they're still, with 20 minutes of the second leg to go, they've got to punch his chance.
Absolutely.
As we often say.
It would be delighted. You know, when you think about the performance of last week, where Benfica were very good in the first 15, but Real Madrid just completely took over. Kylian Mbappe should have had a hat-trick in the first half. Could have put the tie to bed. Benfica, I think, have been brilliant this evening in the Bernabeu.
Yeah, they've missed him tonight. Without a shadow of a doubt, the 38 goal mark. So anyone's got 38 goals in 33 games is going to be missed, and that goes without saying.
So I'd like to say as well that the Benfica fans are out singing the Real Madrid fans. They've been absolutely superb. buoyed on by their fans. The team has certainly done them proud so far.
The Madridistas have it. Ball played forward, chested on by Valverde, and the defending good enough. Dedic had covered an awful lot of ground to come back there and just come round the back of Valverde to force him to hurry the shot, which he fired wide of the left-hand post.
Well, I think he's played in almost every position this evening except goalkeeper Federico Valverde. He's been absolutely everywhere, played almost like a number 9 there. And yeah, I mean, look, Dedic did really well coming across, but that could easily have deflected off Valverde's boots and could have gone in.
And now a nasty collision between two Real Madrid players, both going for the same ball in the air, and they're going to need treatment. It's Camavinga and is it Gonzalo? And Camavinga is lying face down in the turf. The young striker is lying on his back, and they're initially looking at his eyes and his jawline. It was a horrible challenge between the pair of them. In fact, it's Asensio rather than Gonzalo, and he's come off much the worse of the two. It's been a goal in Turin. Which way, Kev?
Juventus 2, Galatasaray 0. The 10 men within one goal of levelling the tie. It was a corner, a second phase of a corner. Pierre Kalulu's low ball across. Federico Gatti scored. Juve 2, Galatasaray 0. 4-5 on aggregate.
PSG leading Monaco, who are down to 10 men, 2-1 and 5-3 on aggregate. Real Madrid 1, Benfica 1. As you know, it's 2-1 to Real Madrid on aggregate, and Atalanta made it through 4-3 on aggregate thanks to a penalty in the 8th minute of stoppage time against Dortmund earlier. Well, Mastantuono is going to be coming on in a moment for Real Madrid. It'll be the first change of the night, the £38 million winger that they signed from River Plate. He's only 18, he's already won 3 caps, he's got a massive price tag on his shoulders. He's got a Champions League goal to his name against Monaco. And he's going to be coming on very shortly with 18 minutes to go, plus potentially another 30 if Benfica can find another goal. And Chouameni is well, he's not the player that's being taken off. He's come over towards the touchline. He's just having a word with the bearded Alvaro Arbeloa, the former Liverpool man. I don't know whether Chouameni's been sent over as the messenger from the medical team. They're still going through full concussion protocol here for Asensio as he lies motionless on his back. I think the fact that he is lying down is probably instruction for the medical staff as opposed to necessarily being a sign of anything more serious, because we've often seen that they go through the concussion protocol and it doesn't look good, and then all of a sudden they're given the all clear and they spring back up and they're okay. I don't know whether this is going to happen this time or not, but still checking everything out and being really careful with his neck not to move it at the moment.
And that's, I mean, you've hit the nail on the head there. It is the protocol that he's just saying, okay, just lie there, stay in a position, we'll go through it all and see if you're okay. I mean, he hasn't really got anyone to blame but himself, because he needs to scream out that he's going to come and head this ball, which not just scares the opponent but scares his own teammates. Camavinga doesn't need to go anywhere near it. As he's jumping up, he wins the header cleanly. And, you know, it's Camavinga who's closest to him that causes this particular fall. So just communication is not actually that difficult to do, but the modern-day player doesn't do it as much.
Well, I'm sure he's not going to be able to continue, because ominously they have just brought out two white plastic pieces that have slotted together to make a neck brace for him. The stretcher has been on the field for a while. Again, potentially as a precaution to start with, but they're now going to very, very gingerly try and lift him back on to that stretcher. Now that'll give us a chance to go back round the grounds in the Championship. Full-time whistles fast approaching. They're deep in stoppage time already at Millwall. Ian Abrahams.
Yeah, we played 2 of 6 minutes. Millwall 3, Birmingham 0. Cameron Negley should have made it 4 a couple of minutes ago. Ball played through to Mention the area, fired over the top. Millwall 3, Birmingham 0. 3 minutes to play.
And leaders Coventry still ahead on Talksport 2. Here's Alan Biggs.
Yes, they are by 2-1. We've just begun 6 minutes of stoppage time. Predictably, Sheffield United are attacking for all they're worth, trying to claw back a point here. Sheffield United 1, Coventry 2.
Coventry 5 points clear if they hold on there. And Norwich comfortable against Sheffield Wednesday. Mike Sewell.
Yes, 2-0 they lead Sheffield Wednesday thanks to those first half goals. Not a lot to report really in the second half, apart from the fact that Norwich have controlled things and look pretty comfortable. They're moving 8 points clear of the bottom 3. Norwich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
The bottom 3 that contains Oxford still behind at Stoke. Dave Rowe.
Yeah, Stoke 2, Oxford 1. 10 minutes to go here, and Stoke really should be out of sight. Bocat has just fired wide after a good play by sub John Hoja on the right. No clear sign yet of an Oxford fight back here. Stoke 2, Oxford 1.
Stoke will move up to 13th if they can hold on there. You're not missing anything in the Real Madrid-Benfica game because of the continued treatment that's being given to Raul Asensio after the sickening collision that he suffered a few moments ago. Climbing high for a ball with Camavinga, and he's hardly moved since. They're just making sure that everything is okay, but he is going to be leaving the field on a stretcher. So Mastantuono is going to be coming on, and David Alaba is going to be joining him as well. And the orange stretcher now has the stricken Real Madrid centre-half on it, and he's being carried away by 6 medical staff. And our thoughts are with him, because that was a horrendous collision.
Yeah, again, hopefully it's just precautionary. They need to make sure, can't risk him, well, 1, carrying on playing in this game, but 2, just not moving. Just take him off the pitch, make sure he's okay. His health and safety definitely come first.
At the National League, a late winner for Eastleigh at home to Truro by the look of it. They're 2-1 up in the 4th minute of added time. Braintree 1, Aldershot 2. Gateshead 4, Morecambe 4 with a Chadwick hat-trick for the head. Hartlepool 3, 10-man Carlisle 1, Yeovil 1, Sutton 2. And they're all in stoppage time apart from the Gateshead game, which has got about a minute or so to go. Camavinga's the other player that has come off. The Camavinga and Asensio off, Mastantuono and Alaba on. 13 minutes to go, but now probably a good 7 or 8 to be added on at the end of the game. We are back underway. Dahl getting it forward towards Pavlidis. Auschnes just lost out, and then a challenge from Barrero was very strong on Arda Güleş, who just got caught. It was a lovely turn from him, and the Turkish internationals won a free kick. So probably almost 20 minutes with the playing time left for Arbeloa's men to be able to hold on here. They're 2-1 up on aggregate, Scott.
Yeah, but still plenty of time for Jose Mourinho's men to get that one really good chance and try to put the ball past Thibaut Courtois, who's just so massive in that goal.
Now Benfica have it, flicked on towards Pavlidis and cleared. Auschnes wins it back to Barrero, to Rios, out of the right-hand side, the Bosnian Dedic. Dedic clipping it in between 2 Real Madrid players. The Güleş back defending, did really well to be able to clear and get it out towards the far touchline for a throw, which will be taken by Benfica. 12 minutes to go. Araujo across the take-it as Eastleigh go 2-1 up against Truro deep in stoppage time. Eastleigh 2, Truro 1, Aaron Pierre with the winner of the Silver Line. Another long ball played forward. Yeovil have equalised as well at home to Sutton at Huish Park. Yeovil 2, Sutton 2 in stoppage time. Alexander-Arnold coming in off the right-hand touchline. Auschnes. Alexander-Arnold. Vinicius goes shoulder to shoulder with Araujo. One back by Dedic. And Benfica will be able to play it out. Good night for Millwall, up back into the top 3 in the Championship, seeing off Birmingham pretty comfortably. Ian Abrahams.
They certainly are. Millwall 3, Birmingham 0. Premier Aziz, superb opener on 25. His free kick touched onto the post, steered in. The rebound by Kramer made it 2 before half-time, and Kramer pulled it back just after the break for Cooper to make it 3. Birmingham also the man sent off in solace, and we're never really at the races here. But Millwall 3, Birmingham 0.
And Vinicius through a goal, fires it in the bottom right-hand corner. And it's the same celebration down by the corner flag. a familiar sight, as is Real Madrid making it through to the last 16 of the Champions League. It has come to pass again. Benfica throwing bodies forward, Real Madrid getting it down towards Vinicius, and with a sense of inevitability, he makes the headlines again on a night where another goal from him makes it Real Madrid 2, Benfica 1. They're 3-1 up on aggregate, and that should be that.
And it's a wonderful finish, and Benfica just too open, too easy. As Otamendi tries to come across, Vinny Jr. knows he doesn't really have to take him on, he just runs into the box. And he's still able to have time to open his body up. He's inside left position, but on his right foot. It's a wonderful finish. I mean, he makes it look so easy, but to do that at the pace that he's running at and make sure that he puts it inside the post, but away from Trubin as well. It's a brilliant finish from an incredibly talented player. And he enjoys his little dance with the corner flag again. And that could be that.
Winner in the first leg and potentially the winner in the second leg as well. Real Madrid 2, Benfica 1. And Benfica now need to score twice in probably 15, 16 minutes worth of playing time that's left, just to take it to extra time. They're on the front foot here with Dar. Shelderer, good ball in from him, flick towards goal, and it was only just narrowly wide. Carrera's back on the line, had to make sure that it didn't hit him and go in, but it flicked off his instep and goes wide for a corner.
Well, we know Real Madrid equalised really soon after Benfica scored in the first half. If Benfica was able to score there, my, what a set up to a finale that would have been.
He tried to get out of the way of it. It hit his trailing foot, Carreras, but he got lucky. It went just the right side of the post as far as he was concerned. It was a brilliant flick from Rafa Silva. 8 minutes to go. Arsenal to take this corner. It's a right-footed away swinger. Plenty of swing on it. Otamendi going up for it. And it's cleared over his own shoulder by Gonzalo. High header back into the fray comes from Dedic. Cleared from inside his own penalty area by Carreras. Barrero comes to meet that for Benfica. Wins the battle as well. He's done well with the help of Rios. But Real Madrid can get it back and work it back in field. And now they'll be able to bring it forward. Benfica having to gamble, the spaces on the counter-attacker prevalent all the time now. Mastantuono, the young Argentinian, towards the edge of the penalty area, setting up Arda Güler, and he's fired it over the bar. Full-time whistle's gone at Bramall Lane. Alan Biggs.
Sheffield United 1, Coventry 2. The leaders go 5 points clear. Great resilience about this. Withstood strong pressure in the opening half. Fell behind to Harrison Burrows. Responded immediately with goals from Haji Wright and Jack Rudoni. Excellent game. Both teams at full tilt. Sheffield United 1, Coventry 2.
At about 7:15 tonight, Kevin Hatchard told you that Juventus would be able to mount the fight back. Been down to 10 men for half an hour. Kev, you're going to be proved right.
It is Juventus 3, Galatasaray 0, all square on aggregate, and it's the informed Weston McKennie who's got the goal. A free kick played to the far post, headed back across goal by Cope Mainers, and there was McKennie to score with a header from close range. Juve 3, Galatasaray 0, 5-all.
And also full-time in the Championship at Carrow Road, make sure.
Norwich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. 6th win in 8 for Norwich takes them 8 points clear of the bottom 3. Matthias Kviskoren and a solo strike by Paris Magoma the difference. Norwich comfortable and cruise through the second half. It's 11th consecutive defeat for Sheffield Wednesday. Norwich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
In the National League, in the 3rd minute of stoppage time, Yeovil were 2-1 down at home to Sutton United. They're going to win it. They equalise through John Daly, and a Brett McGavin penalty in the 7th minute of added time has just made it Yeovil 3, Sutton 2, which will be a massive boost for them in their relegation battle. Both sides in the bottom 6. Benfica needing 2, 6 minutes plus a lot of stoppage time to go. Otamendi going down inside the penalty area, trying to get on the end of a long ball forward. He was trying his luck. Nothing more than that as he tried to wriggle his way through past Trent Alexander-Arnold. Felt a hand on him and threw himself to the ground. Nothing given. It's a goal kick. And it's difficult to make a case for Benfica for all the fact that they have been lively in front of goal. They've had a couple of real near misses. Unless the VAR has a look at this particular incident and says it is a penalty, you can't really make a case for Benfica.
No, I mean, Trent, he does get his arm on Otamendi, there's no doubt about it, and tries to pull him a little bit, but it's not enough contact for him to go down. And you're right, it's just over 5 minutes. Plus, I think there'll be another 7 or 8. If they'd have been able to get that goal straight after Real Madrid's, then maybe they could have believed they can do it. They still have to try and believe they'll never give up. Buoyed on by just brilliant fans in the Bernabeu supporting their side, but it does feel that Vinny Jr. is going to be the difference.
Hartlepool 3, Carlisle 1 a result. 4-4 in that extraordinary game at the bottom of the National League between Gateshead and Morecambe's also a result. 5 minutes to go. Both sides in this game have made a double change. Benfica have brought on Baranachea, who's on loan from Villa, and Ivanovic, and they've taken off Auschnes and Shelderup. And Real Madrid have brought on 2 youngsters. 21-year-old midfielder Palacios is on for his European debut. He's only played 15 minutes of first-team football for Real before tonight. And they've also brought on an 18-year-old Thiago Pitach, who came on for his debut for the closing seconds last week on the left wing. So 2 players who've got 20 minutes of first-team football between them have come on. Gulesh and Gonzalo have come off. Real bring it forward here and find Mastantuono, another 18-year-old. So it's a very young Real Madrid front line. Back out towards Vinicius, who's made the headlines again tonight with another really well-taken goal. 4 minutes to go. 3-1 on aggregate to Real Madrid. PSG 5-3 up on aggregate. Juventus 5, Galatasaray 5, the aggregate score. Juve down to 10 men, 3 up at home to Galatasaray. And that one heading for extra time as things stand at the moment. Might not get there, mate. Here's Rudiger. Down the Real Madrid right, there was a poor ball. But Trent Alexander-Arnold couldn't keep in because it was hit so briskly. And it's gone out for a throw that will be taken on the Benfica left with 87 gone. 2 on the Real Madrid on the night.
Yeah, I mean, Benfica have given it absolutely everything, but we talked about how it's not as if Real Madrid have dominated, not like the first leg anyway, and probably over the 2 legs. If you think about how good they were last week at the Stadio de Luz, and how Kylian Mbappe had 3 really good chances in the first half to almost put the tie to bed. I think they've been the better side over the 2 legs, but been really impressed by Benfica tonight. They've given it absolutely everything. They don't deserve to lose this evening. I think an equaliser would definitely be justified, and if they get it quickly, then who knows. But Real Madrid always find a way, don't they?
Here's Ivanovic, left-hand side of the penalty area for Benfica. Couldn't win a corner. Trended really well, stood his ground, got the angles right, knew the ball was going to hit him, but he then made sure that it wasn't going to bounce back over the dead ball line. Real struggling to get it out of their own half, but they have got solid possession. Still 1 outstanding game in the Championship. 2 minutes of added time still to go at Stoke, who continue to lead Oxford 2-1, and we'll get the full-time details on the whistle. And as Real play it forward with 2 minutes to go in this one before we go into a lot of stoppage time after the injury to Raul Asensio. Courtois lets the ball run across his body inside the 6-yard box before firing it wide for Rudiger. Forward now into the feet of Palacios, who's lost out in central midfield. Benfica winning it back with Rios. Rios trying to get the better of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Can't. Ball is played out to the right hand side for Antonio Silva. Down for Otamendi. Otamendi coming forward again. Otamendi's side-footed ball forward, not the best. Easily picked up in the midfield by Pitach. Now a crossfield ball out to the Real Madrid right-hand side. Mastantuono stayed onside. Lays it back. It's just possession football for Real with the 90th minute almost upon us. Just working Benfica as best they can. Keeping it out of harm's way by having the ball.
It's textbook game management. It's keeping the ball left to right, right to left, and now they're on the attack.
Bring it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Vinicius has slipped in. Araujo gets it away from him. Another shot comes in for the corner of the box, and that one's gone well wide. It was an optimistic attempt from Palacios and from Carreras, I beg your pardon. It goes well wide now to play for a goal kick that's been taken quickly. 30 seconds plus stoppage time to go.
Didn't need to shoot there. Again, you've kept the ball for 40, 50 seconds. You've got the ball. Okay, you could have a shot, but a tight angle means that what's the point? Again, you're trying to keep the ball. Benfica just desperate to get hold of the ball to try and make an attack, but they can't.
Merest hint of a lifeline for Monaco in Paris, Kevin Hatchard.
Yeah, PSG 2, Monaco 2. A gesture of defiance from Jordan Teze, who came onto a far post cross, scored from close range past Safanov, but PSG still have a 1-goal advantage on aggregate.
So we're into stoppage time, and there'll be 9 minutes added. Real Madrid 2, Benfica 1. Benfica with 9 minutes to score twice. But remember, there was extraordinary late drama when the two sides met 4 weeks ago tonight, including the goalkeeper coming forward and scoring in the 8th added minute.
I was just about to say, at what point does he go up and try to play as a centre forward? Maybe not yet.
Both sides are going to make another change. We're going to see Fran Garcia come on for Carreras for Real Madrid. And Benfica making a change as well. And it's Lopez Cabral that comes on for Barreiro. Full-time whistle's gone at Stoke. Dave Rowe.
Stoke 2, Oxford 1. First win in 8 for Stoke, plunging Oxford nearer to the relegation drop. Lamine Cissé with the first for the home side before Kieran Brown struck a beautiful equaliser. The second half turned on 2 key moments in quick succession. First, Lancashire hit the underside of the bar for Oxford, and shortly after, Jezra and Raksaki scored the winner for Stoke with a far post header. They deserved the victory. Stoke 2, Oxford 1.
And up to 13th tonight. Oxford still entrenched in the bottom 3, 6 points off safety. 7.5 minutes at least worth of stoppage time to go. There's a poor challenge comes in on the recently arrived Lopez Cabral to give Benfica a free kick. Just wonder how much the Bernabeu would shake and start biting its collective fingernails were Benfica to score 1, because you know that they would throw everything forward. Can they score from this free kick? In from Cabral. Courtois did well, came out, strong right hand to it, under pressure, was fouled anyway. That's a free kick to Real Madrid.
It's not a foul. I couldn't say the ball's come in, Thibaut Courtois has come out. There's a little bit of contact there. I suppose I'm wanting that late equaliser on the night, and that really would set it up for a great ending.
Not a foul against the Benfica player, says the former Benfica player Scott Minter. No, I
don't know where you're going with
I understand exactly what you're saying. Contact was minimal. It was just the coming together between the two players. Didn't affect Courtois' good goalkeeping anyway. Real Madrid had got it in the midfield. 6.5 minutes left. Real Madrid 2, Benfica 1 here on Talksport. Our coverage in the Champions League brought to you with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. Stuttgart Celtic tomorrow. Nottingham Forest against the Fenerbahce. Palace in Conference League action against the Zrinjski. If you've got the Talksport app, you'll be able to hear all of those games. The Forest game on Talksport at 8, the other two on Talksport 2, Celtic at 5:45 and Palace at 8. We've got it all covered for you. And then Friday night's Wolves Villa as the Premier League returns. Saturday lunchtime, Bournemouth Sunderland. And you won't hear either of those games anywhere else. We've got 6 left in this. Real Madrid edging ever closer to tie against Sporting or Manchester City. The draw to be made on Friday. Courtois. Still a pretty healthy cushion between the two. The 3-1 aggregate lead for Real Madrid. Nicely done in the midfield by Palacios. Palacios getting it back. Look for Mastantuono. Mastantuono turned it the other way towards Pitach. Now Vinicius coming in off the left flank. Right-footed aerial pass. Brought down well by Mastantuono. Good control in his yellow boots. Gets to the edge of the penalty area. Abruptly puts the brakes on and turns. Lays it back for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And it's cleared by Otamendi out for a Real corner. Full-time whistle has gone in Paris. They're through. PSG 2, Monaco 2 on the night. That first leg victory in Monaco has got the job done for them. PSG 5, Monaco 4 on aggregate. So the Parisians through. They'll get either Barcelona or Chelsea. Newcastle also will get Barcelona or Chelsea. Trent Alexander-Arnold to take this corner very deliberately, putting the ball down deliberately in only a way that you can be deliberate in the 5th minute of stoppage time when you've got a 2-goal lead. Just making sure that some of the ball, the right part of the ball, is on the wide of the quadrant. In comes the corner. 2 Real Madrid players attacking the same ball. Then he's volleyed back out after the clearance to Trent again over on the right-hand side. Not a bad ball in with his left foot, slightly overhit. If anything, he's taken the touch off Dedic's head and kept in by Cabral. He stops it going out of play for a corner. And it rolls right down the touchline, almost comes to a stop before Real Madrid getting a foot on it and will be able to build from deep.
But again, a lack of communication, this time from Lopez Cabral, means that Dedic thinks he's got to head the ball. It goes towards Real Madrid, they get the ball back, they've got more time to just kill the game off. Simple communication. One thing that is interesting though, in a moment where you're looking to try and kill the game, have game management, in a way you kind of want experience, and yet Arbeloa has gone with 2 18-year-olds and a 21-year-old, and that's because he knows them so well. He's worked in the academy and he trusts them. A lot of these managers who sort of come in, if they haven't worked with them on a daily basis, they just don't know how good they are. Can I trust them in this pressure situation? But Arbeloa has, and at the moment they're doing really well.
One of the two, Palacios, has just been booked, but he's shown up well, always showing for the ball in the 10 minutes or so that he's been on the field. And another free kick has just been given to Benfica here. They've got about 3.5 minutes to go. They've got to score twice or they're going out.
Wait for that Otamendi second yellow.
Is that coming before or after the Trubin header? Ball is over on the Benfica right. They've run out of room. Good defending by Valverde. Juve have won 3-0 against Galatasaray in 90 minutes, so they're going to play another half hour of extra time. They're 5-5 on aggregate. Juve down to 10 men, but having lost the first leg by 3 goals, they've won by 3 goals tonight despite Lloyd Kelly's dismissal. And extra time is going to start shortly. Rios has gone down. It's been really stop-start through extra time, through stoppage time in this game. That's to the credit of Real Madrid. They've just broken up the game. Yes. They've stopped Benfica mounting any attacks.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, this is how you see a game out.
Benfica getting the ball in towards Pavlidis here, but it's well defended by Rudiger. Flipped his head and steered it out of his flight path. Real knock it forward towards halfway, where it will be instantly returned to Rios. Rios coming forward, trying to pick out Dahl and couldn't. It's come off a Real foot, and now it'll be Pitarch chasing after the loose ball with Barrenechea. So he won it, the Argentinian gets it back to his goalkeeper, but just slammed forward by Trubin and straight through to the other end where it's going to be easily picked up. And it's going to be a job done with kind of a minimum of fuss when you look at the score line. They've won both legs, home and away. They've been comfortable tonight, a 3-1 aggregate win. That doesn't really tell the story in terms of what we've seen. Benfica have more than had their moments.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be winning both legs by a single goal, but tonight has been much more difficult than it was last week for sure.
Still Rafa Silva causing problems, but was well defended by Alaba. So much experience in the former Bayern Munich left back, but hardly features these days. He's only started 3 out of Real Madrid's 40-odd games in League and Cup this season. He's still been blighted by the injuries that he suffered over the last couple of years, which have restricted him to the handful of appearances, and most of them off the bench. The perfect man to be able to bring on in this kind of situation. Vinicius drops deep, has it on the edge of the D. He's gone back to the left back. Alaba will clear, helped on towards halfway, chested down. Benfica know that their race is run, and Real have it again, coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Can they set the seal on it with another goal to make it a 4-1 aggregate victory? They're not going to be able to as the whistle goes, and a tie that was engendering headlines for all the wrong reasons last week has been won by Real Madrid, and Vinicius, who was front and centre 8 days ago, has been again tonight. Winner in the first leg, the winner in the second. Tchouaméni equalising after Rafa Silva had given Benfica the lead. Quick exchange of goals in the first half, although Benfica had their moments and they hit the bar inches away from getting it back to 3-3 on aggregate. It was Vinicius that conjured up another wonderful moment, sweeping the ball into the bottom right-hand corner to get the job done. And Real Madrid's proud record of the last 16 in every season since 1997 continues. I'm delighted to say this was a night where we can actually talk about football. Real Madrid 2, Benfica 1, and they won it 3-1 on aggregate.
So Real Madrid go through, and Scott Minto, I think it's fitting that Vinicius Jr. got that goal to win it on the night, and what a sweet finish it was. And without Kylian Mbappe, let's not forget that, this is crucial. You're talking about somebody who has got so many goals this season for club and country. Kylian Mbappe, his record is absolutely phenomenal, 43 and 37 for club and country, and without him there's going to be a little bit of doubt. Vinicius Jr. stepped up to the plate to win it on the night for Real Madrid and send them through.
Absolutely, that's what he can do, Aid. And I thought not just his goal, but let's quickly talk about his goal. Running at pace, but still able to open his body up and just pass it into the net, into the side, inside of the side netting, where Trubin couldn't get it, but it was just inside the post. It was a brilliant finish, but actually take the goal away from him. I thought he was brilliant all evening. It was a really good battle watching Dedic against him, and I thought Dedic played well, but it was just constant energy, skill, holding the ball up, and even when they're on the back foot, he was the one that seemed to be further forward and been able to relieve a little bit of pressure. So it was a brilliant performance all round from the Brazilian for sure.
I think we just a quick word about somebody at the other end, Thibaut Courtois. When Jamie Carragher trolled the football world with his top 10 Premier League keepers the other night, he put Alisson and David De Gea ahead of Thibaut Courtois. Proper wind-up from Carragher. That's his Scouse sense of humour. And I mean, he made some great saves. He even made a great save before Benfica actually took the lead on the night, but he made some terrific saves. Mustn't be forgotten, that.
Yeah, I didn't see that top 10, so I don't know who was in it and in what order, but if Courtois wasn't in it, then that is a big surprise.
He was in it, but right. he was below De Gea.
Okay.
He was below Alisson. He should have been higher, in my opinion. It's all about opinions.
Of course it is, and I'm probably going with you as well, although I do think Alisson is superb. Look, in terms of Courtois, I mean, we've seen it before. You know, I can't begin to express the pressure you have playing for what is, I think, the biggest club in the world, and the pressure that you have. And I think the goalkeeping position for any club is the most difficult position, because sometimes you don't touch the ball for a very long time, and if you make a mistake, your mind can start playing mind games with you, and you've got to be mentally strong. But he is the ultimate example of what a top keeper is. Doesn't have to do too much for a period of time, but when he's called upon, he makes brilliant saves, and not just brilliant saves, crosses coming in, he catches those crosses. Not only does he not get there, he doesn't have to punch most of the time as well. Because of his frame, he comes out and catches and just relieves so much pressure for his defence. He's just a superb goalkeeper, a world-class goalkeeper for sure. He won Real Madrid the Champions League a few seasons ago. I don't think this Real Madrid side will go on and win the Champions League. If they do, he'll have to be even better than last time.